Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. At where in the world you are. Hello. Oh god, this is a bit loud. Hello, so I'm Orion Ookami. Nice to meet you. Hi mods, I see one of you. Hi, I see you. こんにちは、こんばんは、おはようございます。私は Orion Ookami です。よろしくお願いします。Assalamualaikum, Shalom, Tom Zen, and Orion Ookami. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about social anxiety. So, like I said, it's like some weeks I might do one next week because it is Christmas and that, which will be interesting. And I might do one the week after. I'll see. There's a few topics I want to talk about. I'm still deciding on them. So today we're going to do social anxiety, which is social phobia. We're pretty much going to talk about it. I have a few YouTube videos as well in Japanese. So there's actually a lecture in Japan that one of the Japanese doctors did. I think, yeah, he's a psychiatrist from what I remember. And I also have his Twitter, which is nice. And I've been searching a lot of stuff, so we're going to be pretty much going through all. You guys can't see it, thankfully. We're going to be going through a lot of tabs that I have. Anyway, I'm Orion Ookami. Let's begin. So first things first, we're going to pretty much just talk about social anxiety. So social anxiety, pretty much a disorder. It's pretty much, so we're going to talk mostly about mental health disorders. So social anxiety disorder is also called a social phobia. It's a long-term and overwhelming fear of social situations. So this is pretty much what I have. This is why I'm so glad sometimes to have like just text-based. Text-based is so easy compared to like talking to people. So I'm a little worried. I need to like learn how to use Discord again. I used it a couple of years ago and I stopped for stuff. And then I kind of forgot about it now. So I need to like remember how to use Discord again. So for like just collabs and that. So anyway, but yeah, so it's a common problem that usually starts within teenage years. Not always. It can be very distressing and can have a big impact on your life. That is true. For some people, it does get better as they get older. Not always. It really depends, like if it's diagnosed and if it's treated, then great. If it's not treated, then people will have different views on that, unfortunately. So for some people, as they get better, as they get older, but for many people, it does not go away on its own without treatment. That is true. Everyone has different kind of treatments. Thankfully for me, I have a lot of friends now who know exactly what I'm like with strangers, like the stranger danger and all that stuff. And my roommates as well, sometimes they're quite nice when they're not in a bad mood, I guess. It's important to get help if you're having symptoms. That is true. There are treatments that can help me manage it as well. So different forms of treatments like drugs and talking and all that stuff. Symptoms of social anxiety. All right. Social anxiety is being more than just shyness. Yeah, shyness, like I think as well in not just in Japan, in the UK as well, and like other countries, people like would think, oh, they're just shy, they'll grow out of it. It's not actually a phrase. People need to literally overcome that fear. It's not shyness. If someone's shy, it's not them being shy, it's actually something else. This is why, like, what's that called? I forgot that phrase where like people, they will literally just be at home and never leave the house. Like the only time they'll leave the house is if a doctor's appointment or shopping. But even that, we will talk about it. I forgot their name. I forgot the name of it. They have it in Japan, but it's literally those kind of people. I forgot the name. Anyway, it'll come back to me. Anyway, so it's a fear that does not go away and affects everyday activities, self-confidence, relationship, and work or school life. That is true. Many people occasionally work about social situations, but some with more social anxiety feel overly worried before, during, and after them. So you may have social anxiety, but obviously, like, disclaimer alert, by the way, I'm not your doctor, I'm not your therapist, I'm not your psychiatrist. Do not ever trust dump shit on my Discord or on Twitter or any of that stuff. I'm literally, when I say I'm a mental health VTuber, I will openly talk about people, or I would happily have, like, when I collab with people in the future, they talk about their experience for what it's like to be them, to have this, like, I love the word they're saying system, because this is what they're experiencing and they're still human beings at the end of the day. I'm not here to help you, if that makes sense. I'm here to make you understand and reduce the stigma of mental health. That's the main thing. That's what I'm hoping you understand. When I say I'm a mental health VTuber, I'm open about mental health, and I'm open about, to be honest, like, even, like, I think if any of you follow me on my Twitter, yes, I replied to a big shot VTuber because they were like, oh, you want to talk about controversial topic? I'm the biggest. Even my mods were like to me, oh look, my mods actually showed it to me. They're like, oh look, one of your no, I'm not gonna say. Oh god. Yeah, just in case I'm gonna get freaked out. I'm gonna start getting a bit social anxiety right now. One of my mods actually sent me what they wrote, and they were like, why don't you try to speak to him, because you're always talking about collateral damage. Oh god, no, I meant controversial. I'm always talking about controversial even like topics that people will hate to talk about, not just in like the UK. I think it doesn't matter where you're from, whether it's in Pakistan or like Japan, China, Korea, it doesn't actually matter. I wouldn't say I'm controversial. I do talk about a lot of controversial topics, and yeah, I think VTubers, or even like community wise as well, need to realize there's some, if you know what your intentions are, then, but like I said, I will talk about topics that people don't like talking about in a more therapeutic way, if that makes sense. Just now actually I was actually on someone else's stream and I was like, yeah, I'm just hanging around. I was trying to say I was just hanging around, but it just literally came up, I'm hanging up. God, I'm sorry, my English is just so bad today. I don't know why. I think because whenever I study Japanese, my English just gets lower and I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, like, so I will talk about topics that people, obviously some might, this is not for kids, this is my streams are never for kids ever. People know that. So yeah, anyway, moving on. So you may have social anxiety if you worry about everyday activities such as meeting strangers, starting conversations, speaking on the phone, working or shopping. Yes, I think I want to do, so there's a few VTubers I'm trying to figure out who like plays Splatoon, so I've literally messaged them, and even that was terrifying for me. Because like I gotta just get to know you first before we collab, and we play Splatoon, great, let's collab, but then let's obviously get to know me and I get to know you, kind of thing. What I mean by get to know, I'm not like saying as like a relationship, oh, we do this. Relationships with friends is different with VTubers as well, because like VTubers gotta realize, like, not just me, even when I'm collabing with people, they realize like we're literally being, you're a VTuber, I'm a VTuber, let's be friends, great, okay, let's collab, great, okay, you want to be more than friends? Nope, I don't do that. Please don't do that with me, because I will start running, because I've had a lot of, like, we will talk about parasocial as well, because people are weird. People are very weird. Like I said in my last stream, literally people are very weird, and I'm not sure why, because for some reason some people are like, oh, as soon as someone gives me a red flag, whether it's VTubers or streamers and that, as soon as you give me one red flag, that's it, you're gone. Like, you're literally cut off within seconds. I'm not even gonna give you a second chance or whatever. Nope, one flag, that's all it takes. Even with me, if like, I would be happy if I gave someone a red flag to someone, I would rather they cut me off because I gave them a red flag because of what like I've said or done or tried to make it as a joke, and they didn't like that. I'd rather they cut me off than like to still be those kind of crocodile tears. If you don't know what crocodile tears means, it literally means like you're crying in front of someone, you want to bite them after. Literally, that's literally what it means, crocodile tears. It's a lot more common, especially in this kind of, well, not really, I wouldn't say community, it's more because the dog eat dog world, I guess, in some circumstances. But anyway, moving on. Avoid or worry about a lot of social activities such as group conversations, eating with company and parties. Yes, I think even now sometimes I have relatives and they're like, oh, you're really weird. I'm like, thanks. I don't even fucking know you, and that's the first thing you would say to me. You're just really weird. I'm like, okay, thanks. I think that's a compliment then. Always worry about doing something you think is embarrassing, such as blushing, sweating, and appearing incompetent. Yes, I get that a lot. I do actually get that a lot, actually. So thankfully, my illustrator did ask me, do you want to have a blushing? I was like, nope, never, ever. She did ask, and I was like, yeah, no, I would rather have this, and this. And I did say to her, maybe in the future we'll have that. And she's like, okay, but are you sure you don't want to just overkill it? You're just still quite, like, people are still testing waters with you. And I'm like, that's true. So yeah. I think people forget, those who are like, mental health is very interesting, because I think with like the most loyal people, well, I like to say, I say this and all of a sudden people find out some shit and I'm like, oh god, lovely. We're very loyal people actually, to be honest. At the same time as well, we're also like, give us a red flag and that's when we will cut you off. Especially with social anxiety, like give me one flag and I'm literally, yeah, I think social anxiety more happens with like people when they're humiliated, pretty much. Like when you have relatives and you have like people who are immediate family, so there's like different kind of units, if that makes sense, with like family wise. So like immediate family, relatives, second relatives, goes further, like so on and all that. People find it difficult to do when others are watching. You may feel like you're being watched and judged all the time. Yes, to be honest, even being a streamer at times, I do like say to myself, should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? I think we'll have like a massive, almost like a 3-hour conversation where I'm like, okay, should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I do this? Should I not do this? Even on Twitter, I was literally like, okay, this is the kind of conversation I'm having literally before. I even had one when I spoke about depression and I was like, should I do this? And I'm like, yeah, because you're passionate about it. And I was like, okay, that's all I need then. Even when I spoke to my mod and they're like, this is what's going on. They're like, okay, like, do you actually want to do this or are you just doing it for content? I'm like, no, I actually want to do this. I'm passionate about it. I've always been passionate about it. Those who know me well realize the first thing they know about me when it comes to mental health is I'm passionate about it. I think people need to reduce the stigma of mental health, especially now, and especially this day and age, because social media is pretty huge now compared to like 5 years ago. Or even like when I was in secondary school, like social media was huge. Like it was more like how many followers you had, people watching you, how many views you had, more than how many subscribers you had. Literally, it's more like how many people are watching you now compared to like, oh, are you actually giving people value? Are you actually helping people talk about mental health and reducing the stigma? So I don't know, it comes with different, I think generation wise as well, does make a huge difference. Especially mental health, because some generations will be like, oh, I definitely know one generation that will literally be like, if you talk about mental health, you know it's not actually real, it's all in your head, you're just asking attention. I'm like, okay, obviously you guys can know which generation that is. I'm not even gonna say it. It's just a noise. Anyway, okay, I did, like, before even I started VTubing, I was like, oh, are people actually going to watch me? But the numbers do show, even though, like, yeah, everyone's different, so it makes a difference as well, which I hope it makes a difference for you. That's the main thing. Find it difficult to do things when others, oh no, I've read that. Fear of being criticized, avoid eye contact, or have low self-esteem. Yes. So, like I said before, I had relatives who were like, okay, you need to go and get a job. And I was like, okay, what job? Like, okay, why don't you work for the NHS? I was like, okay, let me work for the NHS then. Man alive, before I worked at NHS, I had really bad social anxiety, like so much. I wouldn't say NHS has actually made, yeah, everyone work for the NHS. No, it fucks you up. Don't ever, don't work for the NHS ever. Trust me on that, it really fucks you up. But it did help with like, I'm gonna do a stream about cancer. I know there's a VTuber who's dealing with I think maybe she's cancer free. I'm not sure. I need to speak to her first before, like, I want to talk about cancer because it's a lot more common than people realize. And yeah, that's for another stream. Anyway, okay. Often have symptoms like feeling sick, sweating, trembling, or pounding heartbeat. Palpitations. Yeah, palpitations happen not just from social anxiety, it can also happen like the sound of a heartbeat. I think in games as well as like having too much coffee. Once upon a time, I had almost four. I used to study for a particular topic that was pretty high, like in, well, back then it was a high status. Now it's like bullshit compared to back then. Back then it was like, oh, do you do edibles? It's like, okay, let me have 4 cups of coffee. Yep, be careful of having 4 cups of coffee. It can literally either make you fall asleep or you end up in hospital. Also, panic attacks. We will talk about panic attacks. Yeah, I've seen a VTuber have a live stream where they were having a panic attack, and that was just a bit, I don't know, there's a bit of a question when someone's having a panic attack on stream. It does worry me a bit, but that's not like, it makes me question, because if someone's actually having a panic attack, you shouldn't be streaming at the first place. Like, it's kind of obvious. If you're having a panic attack, you should obviously prioritize your health more. But I think if you're working for an agency, that's a bit different. I think as well, like, sometimes some agencies just don't give a shit. All they care about is a profit, which is very common in some cultures, especially when it comes to professionalism. Like I said, we will talk about keigo. Keigo is literally like a professionalism compared to, like, if you meet up with them for like drinks, they are a completely different person. And then they'll be like so binge drunk, and then they were like, okay. And the next morning they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Oh yeah, I spoke about that. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. We don't talk about that. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you being serious? Holy shit. Yes, I have worked in that kind of culture, and it's just, yeah, it makes me want to just rip people's masks off, to be honest. Especially in that particular culture, because it's like, okay, are you actually, this is why when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be collabing with people, people hate it, quite honestly, a lot of the time. And it does sometimes relate to like autism or like social anxiety. We will talk about autism soon, as well as ADHD and dyslexia. I think my schedule for next week is ADHD and dyslexia. It is very different, and people who, just because you've diagnosed as ADHD or dyslexia doesn't mean, like, I hate the fact people are like, yeah, I'm mentally unstable. Why do you think that you're mentally unstable? Because you have ADHD, or because you have dyslexia, or because you have this? Like, come on, man. I think the most mentally unstable people are those who haven't been diagnosed. I'm sorry to say it, but it really is, like, seriously. Like, people, I've seen a lot of autistic people and they've not been diagnosed. And it's like, okay, you should really go get yourself checked first. I would rather, like, my mum's messaging me, be like, oh, you should get yourself checked for autistic. No, shut the fuck up, mods. You guys are mean. Okay, especially that I lost that bet yesterday, but I'm gonna delete it soon. Anyway, that video. Okay, panic attacks. When you have an overwhelming sense of fear and anxiety, usually only for a few minutes. Many people with social anxiety will have other mental health issues such as depression, GAD. We will talk about that, generalized anxiety disorder and panic disorder. Like I said, panic attacks for people are very common. I think the number of times I've been to, like, okay, so we have theme parks in the UK. The most common ones, they're obviously closed because of Christmas and all that stuff. And actually, then again, people still go even when it's cold weather or raining. It doesn't matter to Brits. We don't give a shit, I guess. But I've seen like people who go on theme parks in like Thorpe Park, you know, detonator, it's like this is how gravity works, and you literally see them just lift down, and then as soon as they get down, 3 or 4 people randomly just have a panic attack, and it's like, okay, you should have gone to that ride first. They're like, yeah, I'm fine. They're like, you hear them breathing or panting and a hyper ventilation. We will talk about that as well. So sometimes it's not, you can literally have a bag where you ask them to breathe in it, especially for panic disorders, because panic attacks, it's literally like, okay, we can go, let me just go, just like for a minor thing. No. Yeah, symptoms of panic attack. So yeah, if you experience sudden, intense anxiety and fear, it might be symptoms of a panic attack. Other symptoms may include racing heartbeat, feeling dizzy, lightheaded, feeling faint, feeling that you're losing control, sweating, trembling or shaking, shortness of breath or breathing very quickly, tingling in your fingers and lips, literally means pins and needles, feeling sick, nausea. Yeah, nausea. Funny thing with nausea, because sometimes I'll have that before when I used to work for a particular workplace, but anyway, I'm not gonna talk about that for anytime soon. But anyway, panic attacks usually last for 5 to 30 minutes. This can be quite frightening but not dangerous, so should not harm you. That's true. It shouldn't harm you, but unless if you have a psychosis, like hallucination or delusions, that can get kind of dangerous. Thankfully for me, I've not had a panic attack for quite a while now, thankfully. So I've used quite a few, like I said, so talking to your feelings to a friend, family member, health professional or counselor. Cemeterians are brilliant. Do talk to them. We email Joe at Cemeterians if you need someone to talk to. So it's like an aunt or uncle Frank. We have Frank in the UK for like drugs misuse and all that stuff. Calming breathing techniques, yes, like I said, inhale, exhale, and exhale, but slowly. Exercises, activities such as running, swimming, yoga can help you relax. Yep, I go to gym a lot now compared to before. I miss swimming. I'm trying to get a wetsuit because I really want to do some vlogging, like VTuber vlogging, but like seaside. I don't know if you guys would like that. I love the sea. I will happily wear my wetsuit and go in the sea, but I'm trying to look for a camera. It's not cheap. I'm trying to look for a camera that's waterproof. They'll let me like go in the sea and just thingy, what's the word? Record. We'll see, that's for another stream. Sleep. Yes. Like I said, there's a psychiatrist in Japan who spoke a lot about sleep cycles. Sleep is so important, especially for mental health. I will do a stream about sleep, not me sleeping, more of how important sleep is. Eating a healthy diet with regular meals to keep your energy levels stable. Yes, that is true. Peer support is pretty much the top, or even like peer support can be like more than one person. So like kind of like you can do it like a community, but it's more you're like talking to each other about experiences. It's not really trauma dumping. It's more, this is what I've been through, this will help, this won't help if you've done this. Audio goes like podcasts. Yeah, so the joys of panic attack, especially with we oh okay, I know, okay, so we will talk about panic attacks. That's for another stream. I think it might just close this. We will talk about anxiety because anxiety can be kind of vague, which we kind of don't want to do. It's like a mental health VTuber. But anyway, self-help can reduce social anxiety, and you might find it useful to first step with trying other treatments. So let's talk about overcoming social anxiety. Following tips may help try to understand more about your anxiety by thinking about or writing down what goes through your mind and how you behave in certain social situations. It can help to keep a diary. Try some, yeah, so diaries are brilliant. Like you can also record yourself to see how like reflection, to see how you are day-to-day stuff. And yeah, Anyway, so following tips as well. So diaries are brilliant, but you can record yourself and listen to it. But obviously, that recording is your own, that nobody else can hear or listen to. And if anyone does, legal stuff. Relaxation techniques such as breathing exercise for stress. Yeah, so it's not only in Japan, but a lot. Stress is huge. What do I do when I'm stressed? I don't smoke, that's for sure. I hate the smell of smoke. A lot of people, not just in Japan, in the UK, I think around the world, people have said to me the best way of dealing with stress is smoking. Nope, not for me ever. Not for me now, not for me in 10 years time, that's for sure. I like my lungs as they are. I'm not here to judge you. If you smoke, that's your choice, that's your business, it's not mine. Okay, so we will talk about stress because stress is huge, especially nowadays. I think 2023, the biggest theme for me was stress, to be honest. So I need to drink some water. I think I finished a bottle already. I have 4 or 5 bottles of water. Calming breathing techniques for stress, anxiety, and panic takes just a few minutes and can be done anywhere. That's true. You get the most benefit if you do it regularly as part of your daily routine. You can do it by standing up, sitting in a chair that supports your back, or lying on a bed or yoga mat on a floor. Oh, what happened? Sorry, I can just see it on Twitch for some reason. Disappeared. Make yourself comfortable as a clan. Loosen any clothes and restrict your breathing. If you're lying down, place your arms a little bit away from your sides with the palm up. Let your legs be straight or bend your knees so your feet are flat on the floor. Yep. I can even do it now, my feet are flat on the floor. If you're sitting, place your arms on the chair arms. If you're sitting or standing, place both feet flat on the ground. Whatever position you're in, place your feet roughly hip width apart. Okay, let your breathe flow as you deep down into your belly, as comfortable without forcing it. Whew, okay, try breathing in through your nose. I have a really blocked nose, and then out through your mouth. Okay, breathe in gently and regularly. Some find it helpful to count slowly from 1 to 5. May not be able to reach 5 at first, and then let it out flow gently, counting from 1 to 5 again if you find this helpful. Doing this for at least 5 minutes. Yeah, so breathing, we automatically breathe, but if you actually consciously, if you're aware that you're breathing, makes a huge difference. Okay, so like I said, breathing from the nose and out. Man, the techniques I taught people that I used to work with, I don't anymore because they're assholes, and they're still assholes, majority of them now, and to this day I will never, if I ever see them outside, I'm just gonna flat out ignore them. I doubt it, because obviously we live in different places now, and one day I'll live in different countries. But anyway, moving on. Alright, we're gonna talk about stress for another stream. Okay, break down challenging situations into smaller parts and work on feeling more relaxed with each part. Yes. Try to focus on what people are saying rather than just assuming the worst. So, I think I did a tweet about this. I wonder if I can do it. If it'll let me. I think I did a tweet about this actually, where I was like, let me see my tweet. It was just before this. I was actually meant to stream this at 3 o'clock. And then shit happens. Yeah, I don't know why people think I'm monetized. I'm not monetized at all to any of the social platforms I'm on. I want to be monetized soon, I hope. So please help me get monetization. Where is it? So I did a stream, yeah, social anxiety. This was like 2 hours. I was meant to start 2 hours ago, but this came in for me. Social anxiety, are you sure you want to do this? Me, yes. Social anxiety, oh, but what if this and what if that? Me, listen, like always, I always do my best in all my streams, no matter what, and it's true, I do. Social anxiety, we'll see about that. Me, it's true. Social anxiety can be like a bit of a gremlin. You kind of wish wasn't there, unfortunately, but it is. But there's ways of like overcoming that, because sometimes with social anxiety, it might sound okay, this might sound a bit judgmental, but then how people portray themselves and how they treat you tells you how they treat themselves, if that makes sense. So how people view you shows a lot how they treat themselves, pretty much. And yeah, it's helped me with dealing with a lot of VTubers nowadays, but still. So I wonder if I can do this actually. How to cope with anxiety, a relaxing technique. I don't know if I'm gonna get told off for this, but let me stop this. So yeah, like I said, obviously I follow NHS mental health policies and procedures. Obviously, like I said, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, but please do watch and listen. It's in English. We can do a transcript. Yeah, we can do subtitles on for like any impaired people or people. Yeah, anyway, I'm not the only one who has like dyslexia, but it's kind of useful having subtitles for anyone else.
Welcome to this relaxation training guide.
So British.
I'm here to guide you through a relaxation technique to help relieve anxiety. This session focuses on how to relax. The video directs you to complete a body scan where you'll be asked to focus on sensations in different parts of your body and may not be suitable for people who are troubled by body sensations. Managing our anxiety and being able to switch off and relax a little each day can help us to stay well. Holidays and short breaks can also make us feel great. So what I'm suggesting here is that you take a holiday every day, or even twice a day, all from the comfort of wherever you are and wherever you may feel stressed. Whether that be in the comfort of your own home, travelling on public transport, or at work. You're going to learn a technique to help you relax, to focus your mind away from worries and stress, and also to relax your body. The relaxation session you're about to listen to lasts no more than 5 minutes. It can be used quietly, in full at home, but with practice the aim over time is to be able to quickly move to a relaxed state, mentally and physically, by simply using the words calm, control, whenever you feel anxious or stressed. Just relax comfortably back, letting your gaze settle upon the point you've chosen. Just listening to my voice. And as the relaxation continues, you may wish to close your eyes in order to enjoy deeper calm. Think first about your hands. Thinking about the position of your hands and any slight contact or pressure of the palms of your hands, the tips of your fingers and any feelings of warmth or coolness. Just being aware of the temperature of the skin of your hands, whether they're warm or cool, and any other feelings you may notice there. And now your arms, the position of your arms and your shoulders resting back. Just being aware of any tension or tightness in the muscles of your arms, around your shoulders and neck. Tension or tightness now becoming replaced by relaxation. So your arms now begin to feel limp and relaxed. Letting relaxation come. Your arms limp and relaxed. Letting controlled relaxation begin to come all through your body. Not resisting it, but just inviting this controlled relaxation. And now your feet and legs, just like your hands and arms. First your feet and all the feelings you notice there. The position of your feet and the warmth or coolness, being aware of the temperature of the skin of your feet, whether they're warm or cool. And just noticing the position of your legs and any pressure in the back of your legs. Being aware of any tightness there being replaced by relaxation. Just like your arms, limp and relaxed. And now the muscles of your stomach and chest, Knotted up tension feelings being replaced by relaxation. Sinking back deeper into the relaxation. Not resisting it, but inviting controlled relaxation. And now your face muscles around your forehead and eyes. Frowning tension being replaced by smooth relaxation. Your forehead muscles smooth and relaxed. And now be aware of your jaw muscles, clenching teeth tension being replaced by relaxation. A deep, controlled, calm relaxation all through you. And taking time to enjoy this control, your control over tension. And now allow a picture to appear in your mind's eye. A calm picture, whether it's somewhere you know, a holiday or flowers, whatever you choose, anything you want, it's your picture. And through the picture, deeper still into controlled, calm relaxation. And the more you practice this technique, you'll find it easier and easier to bring on these deep, controlled, calm feelings. Now I'm going to stop talking for 10 seconds while you continue with your calm, controlled relaxation. Then in your own time, bring the session to an end. How did that feel? When you try this technique on your own, you can relax for as long as you require.
Man alive, I feel really...
Did you physically relax the different parts of your body?
Not a good thing.
Did you find that you were able to move your mind onto a relaxing
I feel really
scene?
sleepy.
Somewhere that felt
really
calmer
sleepy.
and relaxing.
Oh man, to be honest,
as you continue
when
with
they
this
said about the
practice,
picture,
you'll find you have more and more confidence in your ability to
hand on
control
heart, I miss
feelings of
Tokyo
tension
Tower a
in
lot.
everyday life.
I have a
By
lot
just
that has a
thinking the
huge
words
sense
calm,
of meaning for me.
control,
Tokyo
whenever you
Tower.
start to feel
A few of my
anxious.
friends and relatives
Sometimes
they're like,
people
oh, but it's
notice
just
that when
Tokyo
they
Tower.
first try this, it feels a bit
No,
odd.
for me it has a
They
huge
don't feel
amount
fully
of
relaxed.
meaning.
Don't worry,
Huge
this
amount.
is perfectly normal.
Tokyo Tower.
And like anything, it's likely to become easier with practice. But if you find over time it's not something that helps you relax, then there are lots of other approaches that people find can improve how they feel, such as connecting with someone, using a playlist of music you find helpful, going for a walk, or trying another relaxation technique.
I said that to someone, they got really upset with me. I don't know why.
And now that you've practiced this relaxation technique, the key is to build on this by regular practice.
I was like, literally, it was just a suggestion.
You made a good start
like,
here
I don't
by
ask
giving
for
this a try.
All right, calm yourself.
To get the most from this approach, you need to try to use it in everyday practice for a few weeks so you get really good at it. Thanks for listening.
Aw. Thank you very much, Chris Williams. Okay, talk to Chris Williams, my bad. Alright, oh, I forgot the music. So, moving on. We're gonna go, do you guys prefer this music or do you want this music? This one's actually quite relaxing. I love this music. Dova Syndrome. Yeah, this one's, I like this music actually. It's my opening. Because like being a mental health VTuber, I don't know, there's one thing I kind of hope when I collab with people. I might sound, like I said, I might scream, I might shout, I might this, but then like I might seem like such a calm person, but I'm actually really not. I'm definitely not calm, but sometimes I can be. It really depends on like my mood on the day, I guess. But we'll see. I look forward to it. Anyway, let me change that to this one. Or, no. This one's a bit lighthearted. Yeah. Let me do this one. This is kind of better. It's actually my chatting music. That's fine. Okay. Treatments for social anxiety. So the number of treatments are available for social anxiety, and the main options, CBT. Most people, I've used CBT a lot. Very helpful. So which therapy can, but CBT, nah, I can't talk. I relaxed myself so much, my lips are so relaxed. Well, okay. Well, you only relax your lips or relax your face so much. It's just like got a bit slow now. Okay, CBT, which is therapy that helps you identify negative thought patterns and behaviors and change them. This can be done with just you and a therapist, in a group, or with your parents or carers. Guided self-help, which involves through CBT-based workbook or online course with regular support from a therapist. Antidepressants, well, sometimes it works for people and sometimes it doesn't do shit. Yeah. Usually a type of medicine called selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. We will talk about them. Such as, I thought for some reason that's the escapism, which is weird. That's a citalopram or serotonin. These are usually not used to treat children and young people. What? Okay, that's weird. CBT is generally considered the best treatment, but other treatments may help if it does not work or you don't want to try it. Some people need a combination of treatments. Okay, support groups. So this is like so one day I would love to like do a not a support group, but I would love to do a collab with a few other VTubers dealing with mental health as well. And we just talk about it. So in a more therapeutic way. So obviously no dumping or trauma stuff. No, it's more experience. Yes, that makes sense. Okay. Several charities, support groups, online forums, and people with social anxiety and other anxiety disorders, including Anxiety UK, that's actually a real thing, a Health Unlocked anxiety forum run by Anxiety Group. Mine and Young Minds, oh man, I could talk about Young Minds for ages. So this is, Young Minds is more mental health of minors. So minors, so when I mean by minors, I mean those under the age of 16. That would legally be Young Minds, full Young Minds, because they're still a young person developing, I guess. In the mind, that's what I'm talking about. Trump overphobia. Triumph. God, did I seriously say Trump? Oh, for the love of fish. I missed the I. Triumph overphobia, top. Okay, social anxiety can affect in children. Yes, that is true. That is true actually. Social anxiety is huge. Usually it happens in children first and then it goes into adulthood. Sometimes it can also happen in adulthood as well, depending on where that person has lived, pretty much where they've lived and what's happened with them. Because in the end, I guess people forget we're still people in a way. We're still adults, and in a way, yeah. Kind of in a way, we're still adults. No, I meant we are adults. We are adults. Okay, social anxiety can affect children. That is true. Signs of social anxiety in a child includes, like I said, I don't speak to minors. Minors be gone. Excuse me, but I will talk about it. Crying or getting upset over more often than usual, getting angry a lot, avoiding interaction with other kids and adults, still going to school, or taking part in classroom activities, school performances, and social events, not asking for help at school, being very reliant on their parents or carer. There was actually a new law that came out in the UK for, what's it called? Independency. So where you literally rely on your parents so much or your carer, where your independence is literally so minor. You have no independence because you rely on them so much, which is actually really bad. There are some cultures, not just in the UK. I'm aware Japan as well as Korea, China, a lot of the Arab culture as well. India, Pakistan, loads. I think majority of the world where you have a child and then you grow up and they're like, okay, and then they're asking, okay, what should I become? And they're like, okay, become a doctor. And become a doctor. And they're like, okay, what should I do next? They're like, okay, have children. They have children. Okay, what should I do next? And it's like, where's your independence? Where are you? Are you just gonna ask your parents for everything what you're meant to do in life? Come on. This is why like independence is really important. Independency. So this is for UK. We will talk about I have put down, so this is UK. USA can use it as well, but UK law is a bit different to USA. I mean, USA law on mental health is a bit different to UK. UK law is a lot different compared to USA law as well. Like I said, there is Japanese ones. I put it down. So literally, social anxiety disorder is a lot more common. This is the Japanese. This is from the clinic site. They even have a website as well and the number. This is for Japan. So the Japanese speakers only, by the way, because obviously these are Japanese numbers, you can tell from the top. But yeah, they do talk about even ADHD, which I might use them in the future. And autism as well. Autism is actually becoming more common, as well as ADHD. And I think mental health wise, Japan is becoming a bit better as a country because of mental health. UK, we're quite, to be honest, for me in the UK, we're quite slow. We're quite old-fashioned as well. We're like our comfort zone too much. And when you say a suggestion, people find that weird and it's like, hey, why are you suggesting this? It's like, because you guys are so old-fashioned. That's why. Speak to your GP if you're worried about your child. This is for parents. I doubt any parents would be watching me again after I said that before. They'll ask about your child's behavior, talk to them about how they feel. Treatments for social anxiety in children are similar to those for teenage and adults, although medicines are not normally used. That is true. So, like I said, we will talk about ADHD and autism. There is a lot of medication used in children as well as adults now. There's one thing, some medicine does work, some medicine doesn't work at all. How do I know? Experience, literally. Therapy will be tailored to a child's age and often will involve help from you. Maybe given training and self-help materials to use in sessions. Also can take place in a small group. Talking therapies for stress, anxiety, and depression. Yes. Oh, this was reviewed last year. That's actually kind of cool. Always said I don't know how to say this. I come from obviously. I went to university, but it was shit. I hated my university degree. It was rubbish. I don't know what to do with my degree. It's rubbish. It really is actually. But anyway, moving on. Last view reviewed. Okay, we'll do this then. I don't know what this is, but let's see.
Are you finding life a struggle? Perhaps you've been feeling stressed, anxious, or depressed. The NHS is here for you.
That's
Our
ways.
talking
I tell
therapy
you that. They
services
say
can
that,
help.
but obviously.
These provide a range of psychological therapies that are effective for anxiety
Why is the subtitle not working? It's kind of weird.
or depression, which are mental
There you
health
go.
problems that lots of us experience. You can refer yourself or talk to your GP.
This is the UK.
Go to
NHS is UK. So you guys wanna
nhs.uk/talk to
if you
find
ever
your
come and
local
live
talking
here,
therapy service.
come to the UK.
To be eligible, you just
better
need to
other
be
countries,
registered
to
with
be
the GP.
I say that.
You
and
can
I'm moving to
either
Japan
fill
one
in
day.
an online form, phone the service up, or email. Someone from the service will get in touch. They'll ask for more details about the problems
Can I
you've
be
been
honest
having.
here?
This
Like
is
the
called an
waiting list
assessment.
is huge.
The assessment helps them
Holy
understand
shit!
what
I remember
sort
the
of
back in
help
the
would
days
be
you had to wait
recommended
3
for
months.
the
Now you
particular
can almost wait
problems
up
you're
to a
facing.
year.
They will
After a
discuss
year,
options
I
for you
think
to
your
consider, which
thing will
could
probably be
include, for
done anyway.
instance, working through self-help
Like,
materials
this is why
with
as well a lot
guidance
of
from a
people
practitioner,
go to
practical
counselling.
exercises, or one-to-one sessions. You may be offered cognitive behavioral therapy, which
I've
is
also
based on
seen
understanding
therapists
and making
as well as
changes
like
to the way
especially
you
NHS
think and
therapists
behave.
who
There
will
may
get
be
their
a choice
clients
of different therapy
from the
options too.
NHS
The treatment
and
options
use
offered by
them
NHS talking
obviously
therapies
money
are practical
and
and
that
can
kind of
help with
stuff,
a
which is
range
really
of
bad, but it
problems
doesn't
with
unfortunately
anxiety
happen.
and depression, including phobias, panic attacks and agoraphobia,
We'll talk about
obsessive compulsive
agoraphobia,
disorder, social
OCD.
anxiety,
We'll talk about him.
generalized anxiety, health anxiety, body dysmorphia, and post-traumatic stress
Body
disorder.
dysmorphia is huge. We
They
will
can
talk
also
about that in
help to
another
support
stream.
you to cope with long-term health conditions like diabetes, heart disease, or cancer. If you're struggling with your mental health,
Cancer's not
the
actually no.
NHS
It's,
talking
yeah, it is.
therapy
It's kind of
services
long
are
time
here
because
for
a
you.
year or longer.
Refer yourself to NHS Talking Therapies today.
Well, this is an advertisement for them. But like I said, I'm being honest and real here. The wait is fucking huge. It's so big. Okay, this is the end for this part then. But why is it so loud? Alright, oh my god, it's been an hour and we need to the first part. So like I said, so this is for my Japanese speakers because I have received quite a lot of Japanese messages. I'm sorry I can't read Japanese now, but I will in the future once I've like done my N1 exam. Sooner or later I will do it. Alright, moving on, but this is so all the sites and everything is in the description if you guys want to see it for yourselves. Please do. Next, we have Arabic. My Arabic's gone. My Arabic is so bad. But like I said, the description will have all Arabic and everything. Is there any way we can get rid of this? Like this? Okay. Alright, it's better having more than just one place to talk about. I've never actually seen this. I usually use for mind, but this is kind of interesting. Oh, it's quite short actually. We will talk about as well dissociative personality disorder. So when one person has more than one personality, but that's just I don't know if I can say this, but this is just literally some anxiety disorders isn't always from inheritance, like genes. It can also be environment as well. It really depends on the person as well. So they're still people in the end of the day. So I'm here to reduce the stigma. That's my passion on this. This is pretty much what you've done for NHS wise, but like I said, if you guys want to have a bit simpler jargon, yeah, so okay, sometimes this is good. Okay, this is a bit different because it's almost like the nature nurture argument. There will always be a nature nurture argument for what you do, always. The several possible causes of social anxiety disorder, including genetic. So for me, so I have I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I can say it. I'm sure she won't mind. So I have a grandmother who is Japanese, like half, not half. So she's full Japanese. Yeah. She's definitely full Japanese. So that's like third. So I'm like fourth generation from her. She is second. I'm fourth. Yeah, I don't know. You do the maths, but yeah. So, and she. Unfortunately, I've never actually met her, but it's just you see pictures and you hear what people have said. Because obviously that generation gap is humongous. For me. So, there may be a genetic component to social anxiety disorder. For example, if your parents live with social anxiety disorder, you may have an increased chance of developing disorder. Not always. It could also be grandparents as well. Relatives as well, excuse me. I'm so relaxed, I'm literally falling asleep. Unless like one of my mods tries to scare me on Discord, which they know not to do. It's unclear though if this is genetic or it could be a learned behavior. That's the thing. Nature nurture experiences. Excuse me. Having a history of traumatic upsetting experience such as bullying, publicly embarrassed or humiliated, other negative events involving interaction with others. Also recent Stigma pandemic led to increase in the anxiety disorder. More commonly social anxiety disorders. Drug use, yes, it is true. I'm not here to judge you. Some drugs and substances such as caffeine or alcohol can make some people more anxious than others. Health, long-term painful health condition or disability may make it more likely to develop social anxiety. That is true. For example, having conditions such as physical disability, a facial difference, speech impairment, or autism spectrum disorder. That is true. Childhood, shy, timid children or children who have an overprotective parent may be more likely to develop. Yes. Excuse me. I just need to drink something. Okay. I had a tickly cough. That didn't seem to go. Okay, that is true. If you're like... That is actually very true, actually. It's not even just overprotective. It should be extreme overprotective parents that... Damn it. Ugh. It's annoying. Because I've got something that's stuck in my throat and it doesn't want to come out. Give me a second, I just need to blow my nose. Unless you guys are into that, please don't. Alright. I'm back. Hello? Yeah. I don't know why people are into that. When I'm like, okay, I'm about to blow my nose. I'm like, yeah, no, you can blow my nose. You can blow your nose. I'm like, what? That's weird. Alright, next. Treatment. So, oh, beta blocker. I've not done that before. Yeah, it's important to find out what's right for you. Things won't change overnight, but over time, you may notice your symptoms improving. Treatment and recovery from social anxiety disorder is possible. Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah. No panic. Once upon a time, I've had relatives. This is like UK numbers, by the way. I've had relatives who would have a panic room. Literally. Okay. Social behavioral symptoms. To be honest, I have an intense fear of interacting with talking straight. Yeah, I think like this is why I want to collab with VTubers, other VTubers like me. It doesn't matter if you're big or small, it doesn't actually matter to me. But if you're just anything with me and collabing, if you're rude, you're out. I don't tolerate anyone that's fucking rude or offensive. Yes, we are adults, but if I'm collabing with you and yeah, you can talk in Discord, yeah, that's true. But if you're doing it there and then, I'd rather end the stream than to carry on in like a very awkward stream setting, if that makes sense. Because I've done it before with someone and I was just like, yeah, that was dumb. It's fine. You just live and learn, I guess. Excuse me. Okay, mine gone blank. So like whiteness. So mine just goes white. That could also be a form of dissociation as well, by the way. Muscle tension. I always get muscle tension in my neck, even when I'm feeling quite relaxed when I'm just falling asleep. Dating. Enter a room in which people are already seated. Yeah, to be honest, like I've been in situations where okay, there's some cultures that will stare at you because you're from a particular, or you have a particular trait or just facial feature and they've never seen that before, or they've like find it quite interesting. Because even people, when I was in like, I lived in Japan for a while and I kept being called half. It's actually, it really annoyed the fuck out of me actually. They kept asking, I'm like, are you half? Are you half? And I was like, half what? They're like, half Japanese. I'm like, no, I'm like third. No, not even third. Would it be fourth? Actually, I think it would be fourth. Yeah, fourth. Am I proud of being Japanese? Nope. God, no. God, no, man. Yeah, it's fun having a Japanese culture. Yeah, but nope. Nope. Even being like, it's not even just Japanese, like, oh shit, did I say one of my races? Oh fuck. Oh well, you guys will know that future anyway. But it should be fine. Anyway, I'm like half, but when people hear me speak like, okay, gai gokoju, the number of times I've heard that fucking phrase, gai gokoju or gaijin. Gaijin is actually offensive now to say it in Japan, which is funny because when I was living in Japan, people would say it right across the center, I swear to God. Anyway, alright, moving on. Excuse me. Oh, public restrooms. Yeah. I've seen that. There's actually a manga. Oh man, the mangas I can talk to you about with social anxiety. There is one where like there's a guy who, I think it was a BL manga actually. There's a guy who hates eating in front of people. He'll only eat in front of one person. I think it was his partner. Because he knows, his partner knows what he's like. And even when his partner eats, like he gets really ahems, like the word. He gets really ahem a lot when he talks. So sometimes that can also happen with social anxiety to make you literally life or death situation. It is very normal to have that, pretty much. I should really make my streams, I think, 18 plus. Social anxiety disorder symptoms can change over time. That's true. May flare up if you're facing a lot of changes, stress or demands in your life. Although avoiding situations that produce anxiety may make you feel better in the short time, your anxiety is likely to continue over the long term if you don't get treatment. That is true. That is true, actually. Oh gosh. Amygdala. Yeah, the front cortex, one of them. Controlling the fear response. Fear, false evidence appearing real. That's what I remember from that. So, environment. To be honest, I've been in situations, not like, so I used to live in, I don't know if I'll say that actually. No, maybe not. Okay, I won't say it. Just in case my mom was like, don't say it. I'm like, okay. I've been in situations where there was particular areas. Leicester Square is quite known for this actually in London. Where couples will have fights and not just any small fight. They would literally, I've been in situations where the guy would slap the girl and the girl slap the guy. I can laugh about it, but obviously back down, be like, what the fuck is going on? And literally you'll see sometimes people be like, okay, someone call the police, and like, okay, who do we call? And then back then they used to have like community police officers. Community police officers were assholes. To this day, they're still assholes. I'm not gonna lie. Like seriously, they're such assholes. But yeah, that was like a particular area, I guess. So sometimes, excuse me. And then like there was a particular, what's his name, magician, that would purposely like get bystanders, but not, so they wouldn't know what would happen. He would get them and be like, this is what's happening, and then they will see it and they'll be like, okay, that's not right. It's really weird. I think, I can't remember his name, James something, I forgot his name, the magician. It was really, he did a really bad, like literally, I don't think he can, yeah, he's not famous anymore because he obviously had a massive scandal on like he didn't do consent, and that was huge. Even to this day, consent is huge when you go into that situation, when you go into that like niche, I guess, for magicians. So excuse me. Yeah, public speaking, oh man, I think my debut I got so nervous, I literally felt like I was about to vomit. It's not in a good way. Like, thankfully for me, I still have it actually. Where is it? Little clicker. I kind of call it a clicker. 1 second. I think it's like above my stream. There you go. I've got a clicker. Don't know if you guys can hear it when I'm talking about it. Literally, this clicker helped me a lot when I was streaming. Like my first ever debut stream. Because it's almost like a distraction and it makes you less stuttering as well. I stuttered a lot before I streamed and I practiced for that stream so much. If you guys knew how much I practiced for that debut, even when, like, there was literally, I think there was only one person that came to my debut. I didn't mind, actually. I was actually happy there was only one person, because I think if there was too many people, I'd be like, whoa. But it's fine. I'm getting used to it now. So thankfully, yeah, I'm getting used to it. Okay. Complications. If left untreated, social anxiety can control your life. That is true. I could be extremely assertive, almost like a asshole assertiveness if I need to be. Anxieties can interfere with work, school, relationship, enjoyment of life. This disorder can cause low self-esteem, trouble being assertive, negative self-talk, hypersensitive to criticism. That's new. It's when like people literally go on defense mode when they're getting feedback. Well, it could be concrete criticism. I am fine. My mods know this as well. I'm fine with concrete criticism, but if I feel like, oh, your streams are boring, okay, what the fuck does that mean? My streams are boring? Like what? Me playing games, me doing mental health, which one's boring? You tell me, kind of thing. Social skills, yes, that's a huge effect. So excuse me, I'm so relaxed, I'm like falling asleep here. Social skills could be like, I can't remember, I think it was a VTuber that said actually, where like when you're a child, you don't go to nursery or reception, you go straight into school. You're not actually taught how to socialize, if that makes sense. It does happen more often with like children who don't have siblings, like literally the only child. Isolation and difficult social relationships, low academic and employment achievement, substance abuse such as drinking too much alcohol, that is true, and legal stuff. Yeah, we will talk about that in the future, but I'm obviously going to make it 18 because why am I making it 18? Because obviously I'm not going to be letting minors talk about that kind of stuff. Even though like some people will understand and some people won't. It really depends on the person, I guess. Preventing. There's no way to predict what will cause someone to develop an anxiety disorder, but you could take steps to reduce the impact of symptoms if you're anxious. Get help early. Yes. Like I said, I think I said it the other day. What's going on? This is weird. People are kind of weird today. I think I said this the other day about cancer. Please do get yourself checked for prostate and breast because it's more common than you realize. Priorities as well. Substance misuse. Caffeine, nicotine can cause worse than anxiety. That's true. Quitting can make you anxious. If you quit on your own, you see a healthcare provider or treatment program or support group. Yeah, don't judge me. I know people who've like been smoking for years and they can never stop. According to them, they can never stop, but they've never actually tried to stop. That's the problem. Anyway, moving on. Oh, this is so... The NICE is the National Institute of Health and Care Excellence, which is more... and I don't know how this was actually allowed online, but it is. But this is pretty much a document. I've put it in. So, caring for people with specific conditions, diseases, treatments they should receive. Information applies to people using the NHS in England and Wales. So, yeah, this is more... I thought this was more for children, but it's not. It can also be experienced care of adults using the NHS mental health service. So, yes. The NHS mental health service is I tell you? Does the information apply to me? Yes, if you're a child, school, young person, or adult who may have social anxiety disorder, parent or carer or person with social anxiety disorder. Yeah. This is a more, I've put it in the description if you guys want to read. It's actually quite a few pages. It's like 20 pages. Holy shit. But there's definitely not an abstract kind of thing. Oh my god, I forgot about that abstract. Was like, there was an abstract someone actually posted on Twitter. I think it was Twitter. How like the amount of hate VTubers get, especially from some communities when they talk about some stuff. I mean, some VTubers, when they talk about controversial stuff, they do get a lot of hate for it. I'm not gonna lie, myself included. But I think at the same time, at the end of the day, people need to realize you're still human. We all make mistakes. Yeah, you can apologize and move on. And people don't like that, then that's there. Like today, so I read a lot of webtoons, too much. I was not really, I wouldn't say too much actually, but and one of the creators for the guy upstairs was saying how like Adam and Rosie, like the two main characters, obviously one's a serial killer, the other one isn't, and people were like, oh yes, they should be together. What the fuck? Do you guys actually hear yourself saying that? Seriously? Oh my god, I swear, if I have a webtoon and someone, not a webtoon, if I was to talk about webtoons one day and people are like, oh yeah, we don't like this webtoon creator, freaking hell, man, you don't have to like the creator. They're good. Their thing is really good. Like their work is amazing, and the creator is pretty awesome as well. If you don't like them, that's your fucking problem. Then you don't tell people, oh, you shouldn't like that creator because of this. Fuck off. You don't tell me what to like and what. And that was literally when I heard that on Twitter, I was like, holy shit, are they being serious? And even like when they want to kill off Hawa. Hawa sounds like halawa, which is like a sweetness. Like halawa is like a Arabic dessert, like bakalawa. I say it the Arab way, bakalawa, not bakal. Can I say it the English way? Bakalava. It's like an English person saying mochi, mochi. It's mochi, mochi. Would you like some mochi? No, it's mochi, mochi. Literally, it's not that difficult. Oh man, the day I collab with a Japanese VTuber, holy shit. Oh my god, I'm gonna be hated so much. Not by them, or hopefully not by them. I mean like the Japanese audience. They're gonna hate me because like I make fun of, not obviously not just like foreigners like myself. I even make fun of like Japanese as well as British. I make fun of everyone because we're pretty much all the same. Pretty much. It's like someone asked me the other day, oh, for taiyaki, would you eat first, the tail or the head? I'm like, both. Why just one? Doesn't matter. They're like, yeah, it does. I'm like, okay. Anyway, moving on. I go off topic too often. Alright, assessment and diagnosis for adults. Yeah, so for social anxiety, I think like just in general, not just NHS, around the world, it's how severe it is. We do have a Japanese lecturer, which is here. So this is actually a Japanese psychiatrist in Japan. He's from Japan, from a channel from a medical profession in Japan. Yeah. So obviously health source context, because National Academy of Medicine, American Public Health Association, identify credibility sources of health information on social media. So obviously fake news. Obviously, if people ever think I'm fake, holy shit, man, you guys got some issues then. Honesty is my policy. I don't give a shit. I really don't. It's why I'm probably not an agency. I'm the worst. I'm the worst menace for agencies because I don't give a shit, literally. Health organization. Who? Wait, this is YouTube help. Whoopsie. We'll go through. This is a lecture for like an hour and 90 minutes, and it's all in Japanese. It's so brilliant. I've actually watched a bit of it, but I'll watch the rest of it later in a bit. Alright, so like I said, all the description is in the description below. Oh, this is new. I did not realize about this. So Royal College of Psychiatrists has it in Arabic, which is interesting because I've never seen this before, and I wish I knew about it when I was doing the depression one because it's all in Arabic, which is awesome. It's nice when you get stuff in Arabic because you don't see it as often. I do have an Arabic, yeah, him. So he is Afghanistan. I need to search about this guy. So like I said, I understand Arabic a lot and as well as Japanese, so we will go through them. But yeah, I was really grateful about this because you don't see this often, like stuff in Arabic translated, but obviously don't use Google Translate. Please don't use, if you want to talk to me in a different language, please, if you talk to me in Japanese, English or Arabic only. I can, like Chinese and Korean, it will take me a while. I'll still understand it in a way. This is another Japanese one. There's one thing I can never understand. Like, so in the UK, a lot of stuff are open at like 8 AM. I think for health, a lot of stuff are open late in Japan because of the health, sleep. Sleep is so important in Japan. It's improving. Like, so yeah, this, so the doctor, this guy, this is Twitter. Yeah, and he talks here. So this is like the sleep routine from the age groups 11 to 13. Usually they should have. So this is only for Japan. In the UK and everything, it's obviously a bit different. So like age groups, newborns 14 to 11. Wait, am I doing this right? Yeah, okay. Workers, elementary. So yeah, okay, yeah, now I understand. Sorry, I just realized the age group now. Okay, so newborn is one here at the left, obviously the number of hours of sleep they should have, and then 1 year old, and then 1 to 2 years old, 3 to 5, so toddler age is 3 to 5 years old, and then above 5. So Japan's secondary school and like school system is different from USA. They actually start school from 5, same as UK. UK we start at 5 as well, but Japan's 5 years old. I could be wrong. Reception nursery. Nursery's from 2 to 3. Yeah, 2 to 3. Yeah, because of like immunity and all that other stuff. 6 to 13 is like, that's so American terms, middle school. UK terms, primary school. Or like elementary is the best way I can say it. And then secondary school. So secondary school kids, like high school, secondary school kids, middle school, 8 to 10 hours sleep. Workers like myself at this age group, 8 to 18s to 25, so we'll literally work. I like Japanese crimes, I really do. I think they're hilarious. Oh my gosh. Anyway, 18 to 25-year-olds. So obviously this is from his Twitter site. Do look up on him. There's really interesting stuff he talks about. He does talk a lot about mental health in Japan. 26 to 64-year-olds, like age group, 7 to 9 hours sleep. This is for Japan. I usually have how many hours do I have sleep? I'm 7 to 8. Yeah, so I'm like 18 to 25. Yeah, I would love to have 9. 9 would be perfect, but no. This is like Japan's. This was actually quite old, 2 years ago, but it's still to this day it still works. Hopefully, and 65-year-olds saying 78, so like now for us. This is for Japan. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I really need to pee. I've like hold it in for too long and I'm literally having so many oranges right now. Okay, BRB, I'm gonna be right back. Hello, we are back. Which one was it? This one. And we were on the left. Yeah, oops, where am I? There I am. Hello. Ooh, okay, a little bit fast. Okay. Okay, we are back. So there's another Japanese site for social anxiety disorder. Please, for the Japanese speakers. Oh yeah, they talk about the frontal lobe. Everyone has a brain, so yeah. Pretty much how I can help you and all that stuff. Usual stuff for any site, I guess. But okay, moving on. So we're gonna go through this. I think this is a lecture. He does, yeah. I think this is a lecture from what I saw. Thanks to my mods. And this is like the sign for mental health, I think. I remember. It's been a while. I'm gonna stop the music and we're gonna listen to this. So please enjoy. It's mostly in Japanese. Oh, sorry. Again. Credits to him. We're gonna listen to his lecture.
改めまして今日は上がり症、社交不安症をぶっ飛ばすというお話、1時間程度になるかと思いますけれども、お送りしたいと思います。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。本当にホッとしました。で、今日上がり症のお話なんですけど、いきなりですけど、人前で話すのは
It's pure Japanese, so
大
it
好
will
き
talk
だ
to me.
っていう方は
Public speaking, you like it?
まあおらんわね。そうですよね。
Don't.
人前で話すの大好きやけど、まあ
When I'm screaming, it's fine, but I mean,
ってい
like,
う方もおられるかもしれませんけ
Anyway,
ど
it's online. It's fine.
まあそれが得意やったらわざわざ上がり症をぶっ飛ばす話は聞きに来ないですよね、皆さんね。改めて、まあほんまだったらこういう人前で喋るとか、なんかまあみんなの前でパフォーマンスするとか、そういった場面は緊張してかなわんからできたらご勘弁こうみたいというふうに思われる方どれぐらいおられますか？当てたりしませんから大丈夫ですかね。はい、そうですよね。だと思います。はい。
put your hands up if you're nervous, if you get
もうちょっとついでに聞かせてくだ
nervous
さい。
meeting new people and all that stuff.
皆さんの苦手なもの、こういう場面特に緊張する、これは苦手だってどんなのあります？例えば大勢の前でスピーチするのが苦手やっていう方はどれぐらいおられますか？あ、得意な人もおるのかな。
Public speaking.
2つ目、初めて会う人、初対面の人とお話ししたり交流したりするの苦手やっていう方はありがとうございます。ありがとうございますよね。これから新しい職場とか新しい友達の中に入るとか新しいコミュニティの中に入るとか新しい環境に入るのが苦手やっていう方はありがとうございます。全部苦手やっていう方はありがとうございます。そうですよね。大丈夫ですっていうお話をまずしたいと思います。何かというと、それ実は普通なんですよ。誰かの前でそもそも何かをしようとか、みんなの前でスピーチをしようとか、そういった時にかかわらず自分自身はちょっと緊張しいやなっていうふうに思っている方って、日本人を対象にしたネットの調査によれば、もう自分はめちゃくちゃ緊張するんやって思ってる方が 41.2% です。まあどっちか言うたらやっぱり緊張するかなっていう方がプラスアルファで 41.6% です。足してあげると 82.8%、 8割以上の方というのは緊張しいやっていう自覚があるんです。なので皆さん普通なんです。逆に言うと、こんなところで人前に来てみんなの前でスピーチするの大好きですっていうやつは 1.8% で、こっちの方が異常です。この方がおかしいんです。どちらかといえば人前で何かをしたりするというのに緊張するっていう方が正常だっていうことです。だから皆さんは多分正常なんです。どちらかというとこっちが異常なんです。そんな感じです。で、さっきね、何が苦手ですかって聞かせていただきましたよね。そうなんですよ。これもバッチリそのまんま正常です。スピーチ苦手です。 82.2% です。8割以上の人がみんなの前でスピーチするなんて苦手やできたら勘弁してって思ってますし、初めての人に会った時に緊張する4割近く、初めての慣れない環境に行っていうところに行ったら緊張して仕方がないっていう方も同じぐらいいらっしゃいます。これがいわゆる日本人を相手に調査した時に緊張する場面のベスト3です。圧倒的に多いのスピーチですよね。
Yeah, it's definitely a lecture.
ここでこうやってしてる人実はすっごい緊張してるんです。毎回見れないって言われますけどね、毎回すごく緊張してる。だから実は僕も正常だと思っています。実際できるかどうか、やってみたらできるかどうかは別として、みんなの前でスピーチをする、講演をする、セミナーするっていう時に緊張するのはごくごく普通のことなんですね。で、改めて皆さんに約束したいことがあります。ひょっとしたら皆様方は自分は人一倍緊張しいで上がり症で、なかなかこういうのってできるようになれないんじゃないか。
So, like I said before,
人前で話したり、初めての人と話をしたりとか交わっていったりするっていうのが苦手な私って変でダメなやつなんじゃないかって思ってらっしゃるかもしれません。そんなこと全然ないんですよ。全然正常です。しかも今日の勉強会を聞いていただければ、緊張したりとか上がり症とかそれのひどいやつ、社交不安症っていうものを理解できてコントロールできて克服できる、その第一歩が組めるっていう約束ができます。なので聞く前と聞いた後ではおそらく何か変化が感じられるんじゃないかなというふうに思いますので、ぜひぜひこの後の 1時間弱楽しみに聞いていただければと思います。皆さんは正常でおかしくない、しかもこの話を聞いたらだいぶ楽になるかもしれない。今日はそんな
Sorry, one moment. Someone's at my door. One sec. I'll be. Sorry about that. I'm back. Let's move on. Carry on with this. Oh.
もう特に副交感神経、落ち着くための神経を刺激する神経の束が入っているんです。それが一口水を飲むことによって一血腸反射っていうんですけど、大腸が刺激されて少し落ち着いたらどうっていう指令を全身に与えます。つまり一口水を飲むと
Yeah, water does happen. I mean, it helps a lot with water. Drinking water.
緊張しすぎだって落ちがちになったパフォーマンスを上げてくれるんですよ。4つぐらいお伝えしましたね。
I love the fact he's got like case closed picture right next to him. That's actually really cute. メンタルってこんなんですよね。
力を入れてから抜く。一口水を飲む。これね、調べてみたら副交感神経を高めるための技とかリラックスするための技ってインターネットでもここにいる友達に聞いても本を見てもいろいろ書いてあります。それ一つ一つではあんまり役立たないように思えてもいっぱい使うことができれば必ずそのうちの一つがヒットする可能性があるし組み合わせ効果が高まる場合があります。さっきねここへ来る前にツボを押して8秒かけて息を吐いて最後に一口飲んでから今日は初めての上がり症の話やってきたわけですよ。
I just forget how old this is, but it's fine.
公演うまい
To
でし
this
ょ。
day, it still
うまいけどやるんで
means
す。
something.
もし皆さんが苦手や下手くそやって思ってはったら僕以上にやった方がいいってことです。騙されたと思ってぜひやってみてください。でまあ薬の話で今日はあんまりしないんですけどもせっかくねお医者さんなんで薬の話もちょっとだけしようとしています。薬の話を考えるときには要するに副交感神経を僕たちはちょっとだけ高めるための薬を知ってたらいいわけです。2つの考え方があるんですよ。それを知るために副交感神経を刺激する脳の中の物質の名前を知っておいていただくと言ってもいいと思います。知ってるかな。ごめんなさい、交感神経先出てきました。交感神経、戦うための神経を高める脳内物質はノルアドレナリンと言います。ノルアドレナリンが増えると戦う神経、交感神経が緊張します。逆の働きの物質もちゃんとあるんです。それがセロトニンという物質です。早い話、落ち着こうと思えば副交感神経を高めようと思えばセロトニンを高めるかノルアドレナリンを抑えるかどっちかができたらいいんですよ。どっちも薬があるので知っておいてください。セロトニンを高める薬の代表はうつ病の薬です。うつ病の薬の代表選手にセロトニンサイトリコビ阻害薬 SSRI っていうタイプのお薬があります。うつの薬なんですけどセロトニンを脳の中で高めてくれることによって実は上
Treatment
がり症
to
とか
recognize
緊張
serotonin
と
you said
か
before.
パニック症もすごくよく効きます。こだわり症も
Kutsuri. I just realized that said
そういう
kutsuri, which
作
is
用が
medicine.
とても強いというふうに言われています。
Kutsuri is
実を言う
medicine.
と長い目
Kutsuri
で
no
緊張し上がり症社会不安社交不安症の人たちに効果がはっきりと認められている研究で認められている治療薬っていうのはこの SSRI っていう抗うつ薬だけです。でただ実際にはね逆方向の治療薬も使われる場合があって緊張の物質を抑える薬ですね。2つあります。1つ目が一般的に安定剤って言われる抗不安薬ですね。まあ皆さんがこう安定剤って言われて飲んでるようなお薬です。でこれねすごく即効性があるのが特徴です。例えば怖いこれからみんなの前で喋らなあかんというような時にさっきのいろんな技の代わりにこれを使うこともできると
So
いう
you're saying how like before it might be really scary for you, but it's better to get the long-term treatment than short-term.
緊張してるので
You're just talking about anxiety at the same time as
ず
well.
っと飲んでいくっていうやり方というのは最近はあんまり勧められていません。 だからずーっとこういうお薬の影響のもとにあると、なんと
There's
な
like
くこ
different
ういう
ways of
抗不安
treatment
薬
for
の
social
足が
anxiety disorder.
入ってしまって、ちょっとこう
SAD
頼りすぎになってしまったりする場合も多いし、長い目で見た場合にはこのセロトニンを増やすタイプのお薬ほどの治療効果はないことも分かっているので、これは必要な時だけ使う、そういうやり方するのが今の流行りです。もう一つちょっと難しい言葉ですけど、
Oh, this is like beta blockers we were talking about
無理や
before.
り遮断する。
This is the kanji for it, which is really interesting. I get my kanji is really bad, but it's still interesting
これね、
to
何を
see.
するかというと、ドキドキを抑えますです。
はい
心臓に作用してドキドキドキドキしてるのを抑えるようなお薬なんかを使うと、ドキドキしてるから怖いのか怖い
So
の
when
か
the
ドキドキしてる
heart
のか
beats
よくわ
really
からない
fast
ので、
while
不思議なことなん
patients
で
he's
すけど、
talking about.
このドキドキするのを抑える作用を使ってあげて、心臓が少しゆっくり打つように
When
なる
it's
と、
really loud,
そ
your
れだけ
heart
で
beats like too loud and you want to get.
ことも分かっています。
You can get help with that palpation. So he's
これ
literally
ばっ
talking
かり
about
に頼っていて
palpitations.
も長期的に患者さんを良くできることは少ないと言われていて、やっぱり薬でどれを選ぶかって言われたらこちらを今は選ぶのが多いというふうに言われています。もしね、すごく激しい緊張しいで、ちょっとお薬なんかも頼った方がいいのかな、使った方がいいのかなっていうふうに思われた方の場合には、こんなお薬もあるんかなっていうことを知っていただいて、主治医の先生とかに関わっていただけると、またいいアドバイスもらえるんじゃないかなと思います。で、ここまでが緊
Oh,
張
like
や
the
不安
flight,
を
fight,
コントロール
and
する
the freeze
そうい
response.
うお話でした。ここからいよいよ最後、克服する話です。で、これも実は本当の意味では常識といえば常識なんですけど、
All tight reserve. I'm sorry.
いろん
I
な
just say
ことが
all
苦
rights
手やなとか
reserved.
緊
It
張
said
する
all
なとか
tight
楽だなっていうふうに思う方が勘違いしがちなこと。
Copyright 2019, Ushidama.
どうしても昔って
Yushima Clinic
練習したって
all
時
rights
間が経ったって不安っていうのは解消したりすることはないなって思いがちなんですよね。でも全ての方にある程度のこういうことが約束できます。もちろんね、ものすごくハードルが高いことから挑戦したら何ぼ時間か経っても怖いままやし、何回練習してもうまいこといかないんですけど、程よい不安や緊張やチャレンジっていうのは実は言うと時間が経てば
It's mostly for Japanese speakers, though. We'll do an Arabic one shortly.
言えます。しかも程よいチャレンジであれば練習をすれば1回目よりも2回目、2回目よりも3回目、3回よりも4回目の方がその不安感、怖いっていう感情のピークというのも下がることが分かっています。ポイントはね、
So here he's talking about anxiety.
不安
I can go lower
強すぎるチャレンジをす
over
ると
time. Obviously, it doesn't happen overnight. Nothing does. Nothing ever happens overnight. It just takes time and work.
これが克服するために知っておかなければいけない一番大事なことです。程よい課題を選んで練習をすれば最初に感じてた怖さは必ず時間とともにマシになる。しかも練習をすれば練習をするために
Social
上
work
手
and
になる
working in
し
the UK is
不
really
安感
practice
は下
though.
がっていく。
Yeah, I did try it once, but
これを知って
I saw the corruption. I was like, nope, I'm out.
実
Corruption is
際
really
に
bad, unfortunately.
僕たちは不安感とか緊張感とか上がり症っていうのをちょっと不安感をマシにする方法というのをさっきの技とか薬とかを使ってマシにさせていくっていう方法はすでに学びました。でも一番大事なことはさっきも言いましたね、とりあえず簡単なことでええんでまずやってみようっていうことができないと第一歩を踏み出せないんですよ。なのでまずやってみよう。そのために今の話もしたんです。練習をすれば
There is a few, obviously I can't mention names, but there are a few Japanese voice actors who are quite open about mental health for a time and then they stop, which is a real shame. But social anxiety disorder is a lot more common. It's very common now compared to like 5 or 10 years ago.
なんかやってみませんっていうふうに言う時が多いんです。で、それをやるときに踏んでいく克服のためのプログラムっていうのがあります。それが行動療法っていうんですけど、ここに書いてあります。ちっちゃいことからコツコツとです。どっかで聞いた話ですね。それをやるんです。で、これをやるときにぜひ患者さんとこんな話を最初するんです。今日夜寝て明日の朝起きたら全部緊張しいも病気も治っていて何もかも楽になっていたとしたらどんなことやってみたいと思いますっていうふうに聞いています。でね、 病気とかしてたら困ったことがあったりとかすると、まあそうやな、せめて、ちょっと家から出れるようになったらそれでいいかなっていうぐらいのことを言わはるんですよね。もちろんそれは大事なことなんですけど、患者さんとお話しするときにはぜひちょっと大きな夢を抱いてほしいなと思ってるんで、もう一旦ちょっとそういうことはよく置いておいて、全部いろんなことが克服されちゃったとしたら何したいっていうふうに聞きます。
Short-term treatment? I think he's talking about here. 小さいなことがしたら
で、こんな感じですね。これ全部治ったら友達とちょっと食事行きたいです。友達ってなんか思い浮かぶ人います？
meeting new friends. When you meet friends and they have new friends, it's like, okay. There's that kind of thing.
いいよね、その人たちを久しぶりに会おうか。どこ行きたいですか？まあちょっとバイキングぐらいかな。バイキングどこの？帝国ホテル？いいっすよね。そうだね。帝国ホテルのランチバイキングに誰々さんと誰々さんと絶対行こうって言います。夢はでかく。夢はでかくです。でもそれにいきなり挑戦させませんよ。で、夢はでかくだけど、じゃあそのために今この瞬間からできそうなことってなんかないって聞きます。要はでっかい夢と今できそうなことの間をすっごく細かく刻むっていう作業をするんです、ね。
So there's different like how severe it can be social anxiety disorder as well.
なるべく具体的に。多分これステップとしてはこのプログラム
Like the first step, second step, he's
一人
talking
で喫
about.
茶店行く多分無理です絶対。無理です。なので大抵こんな風に。
無理ですよ。
そうか。
Man, I haven't heard that for a long time. 無理ですよね。無理無理。
ランチバイキングの
日本語上手ないです。
写真とかホームページで見てきて。っていうぐらいからやってみるんですよ。やってきたらすげえやってきてくれたんですね。そうかそうか。じゃあ次は値段調べてきてとか。
So there's the second step.
そうな
I'm
んだ。
like, oh, it's like hurdles. I'm sorry. I just realized the gym equipment. I just realized. Like jumping hurdles. First stage, second stage.
できた、すごいな。ほんなら次はちょっとその喫茶店の中ちらっと覗くところまでやってみようか。じゃあそれができたら次は中入ってみようか。一人で喫茶店に
That's the jumping hurdle.
できたの？じゃあ軽い食事ケーキでも食べましょうか。一人で一回ランチ行ってみようか。できた、すごいですね。
And the fourth stage. Because it really affects people, even relationships as well, unfortunately.
喫茶に行ってみようか。ケーキ食べてみようか。これステップは踏んでももっと分けても構いません。細かく分けてで目標に一歩ずつ近づいていく。それをやっていきます。でこれを 1,2 週間おきにとにかく間を空けないことが大事です。本当に簡単にできそうなことからやっていく。
Just listen, like seriously, just listen.
少しでもなるべく間を空けずにどんどん積み重ねていくと、すごくうまいこと言った場合には 3,4 ヶ月すると帝国ホテルのランチ行けたりすることあるんですよ。でもそのために大事なのはまず一歩目を踏むことです。もしねちょっとクリアしてみたいなっていう事柄があれば主治医と一緒に、あるいは心強いスタッフと一緒にどんなところから始められそうかっていうことを相談していただければ一歩目が踏める可能性も出てくると思います。これは段階的な暴露療法っていうふうに言う、もう効果が確実に実証されている方法です。誰にでも効果があります。大事なことは一歩目はハードルを低く、それだけで評価してください。でこの時に援助者の代表がいてますので、ぜひ援助者の心構えっていうのを一緒に皆さんとシェアしておきたいと思います。主治医であるにせよ、援助してくれる相談員であるにせよ、ケースワーカーであるにせよ、カウンセラーであるにせよ、僕たちはこんなふうに患者さんと関わるのが大事だなというふうに思っています。何かというと、僕たちは患者さんと一緒に冒険をする冒険ガイドだっていう考え方です。どういうことかっていうとね、患者さんと一緒に一人では冒険するのって怖かったりするんですよね。治療って実は冒険です。アガリ症の治療って。
That's the thing with treatment for social anxiety disorder. You start finding yourself and then you realize who you are in a way. That's why diagnosis is so big. Please, if you feel like you got social anxiety, better get yourself checked for anything.
何かというと、ちょっとそこは危ないからこれはちょっとやめて、こっちの方がいいかもしれへんよね って言ってくれたりとか、なんかいい方法を見つけた、いい宝物を見つけたみたいな雰囲気です。いい方法を患者さんが見つけたら、うわすごいね、見つけたねって一緒に喜んだりとか、患者さんと一緒に挑戦してみて、患者さんと一緒に発見した喜びを一緒に楽しんだりとか、ちょっとなんか結末みたいなところがあれば、うわー失敗したな、大丈夫大丈夫って言ったりとか、でも一歩だけ先を見て、これやってみようかって時々言ってみたりとか、そんなことを寄り添いながら、でも半歩ぐらい先に行ったり、ちょっと一歩後ろに下がったりしながら一緒に冒険ガイドをする。
So,
例えば患者さんにね、
to being guide
何
of
で
like
もいいからやれそうなことを
treatment
やってみましょうか、やってみましょうかって言うと、さっきみたいに一人で喫茶店に行くってすごく高いハードルを出してきはったりするんです。でも僕たち冒険ガイドだったら、ちょっとそれは最初の冒険としては危ないんちゃうかって思えば、じゃあネットで調べるっていうところから始めてみませんっていう提案をしたりすることができるわけですよ。逆に僕たちこんな風にも聞けたりしますよね。じゃあこの子はね頑張ったからちょっと次どんなことやってみたいって患者さんに聞いてみると、患者さん側がじゃあこんなことやってみたいんですっていうふうに言ってくれたりしますよね。そしたら僕らはそれを患者さんが思いついた大発見物、いいよねやってみましょうかって言ったりすることもできるわけです。患者さんと一緒に寄り添いつつも、患者さんだけでは見えないようなものを一緒に発見していく。で一緒に発見したことを一緒に喜んで一緒に悔しがったりしていくっていう立場になる。これが僕らのすごく大事なポジションかなと思います。もう一つ大事なこと、それがこれです。ものの見方です。僕たちって一人で考えてるとすごく視野が狭いんですよね。一つ視野が狭くなってしまいます。でそのことを考えるときに、皆さんこれよく見えます？この歯の歯が書いてあるの後ろから見えます？
like teeth
どこが気になります？
So with treatment, sometimes it's best to find out what the particular cause or effect is. What will help
ね、そう
you.
ですよね。虫は気になりますよね。当たり前ですよ。当たり前です。でもこれが僕たちの基本的なものの見方だということをぜひ知っておいてください。つまり僕たちがパッと見ると、ああ悪いところがあったって見えます。さっきの上がり症克服の話でいうとこんなことが起こります。喫茶店まで行って帰ってくることができました先生。でも失敗やったわ。喫茶店まで行ったら胸がドキドキして苦しくなっちゃったから、本当は30分いたかったけど10分で帰ってきちゃったって言うんです。何をしてるんか。喫茶店まで行って帰ってきたでしょ。でも
Everything was fine until that point. Pretty much saying.
早く帰ってきたっていうところを僕たち誰にも何にも言ってもらえなかったら、そこを見て失敗だったって言うんです。悪いところを探しやすいから。僕たちってカウンセラーとか援助する人間の大事なもう一つの役割、それがあ、そうかドキドキしたな、ちょっと早く帰ってきたよねとはいえ一応言ったんですよね。
So he's pretty much saying if you don't get treatment, this will not like happen, but it's, in the long time, it will affect you long term wise. But if you get treatment, it'll help. Short term wise, if you just do it shortly, it won't help you at all. If you do it long term wise, it'll help you in the future.
ドキドキしたけど、ドキドキしたのにそれでも10分頑張った。すごいって言ってもらえたら嬉しいでしょ。そういう視点を提供できる。別にね、どっちがいい見方でどっちが悪い見方ということはありません。いけたっていう見方も事実だし、でもやっぱりドキドキしちゃったなとか早く帰ってきちゃったなとかどっちも事実なんですよ。でもほっとかれると僕たちはそこの部分一つを取って基本うまいことを言っているはずの事柄を失敗だったって思いやすいので、僕たち支援する人間というのはとはいえうまくいったところを一緒に探しましょうっていうことをやれるっていうのも大事な視点かなというふうに思います。お医者さんなんでこのことはぜひ触れておきたいと思います。薬は本当にちょっとしか触れません。で、ぐちゃぐちゃ書いてあるんですけど、お医者さんが患者さんに提供する視点っていうのは実はこの部分です。こ この部分です。
Mm.
薬ってもうやり方決まってるんですよ。
Oh, it's
だ
on
ん
the
だん
Spanish.
だん
No,
だん
didn't
だんだん
realize.
薬の量を増やしていって、
Wow,
副作
I'm
用
with
があん
fast.
まり問題にならないっていうのも効果が出てる。
We do have an
最
Arabic
近
one,
は
so I'm gonna do
緊
that
張
straight
しす
after
ぎ
this
ず
quickly.
いろんなことにチャレンジできるようになりましたっていうところまで薬を増やす。で少しずつチャレンジを増やす。で不安感とかが強かったり上がり症とか緊張しいの方っていうのは、今も言った不安感が強い方ですよね。不安感が強い方っていうのはとても両極端な行動のパターンがあります。一つ目が薬をとても飲みたがらない、ちょっとでも減らそうっていう方。もう一つは薬をいつまでたっても減らさないっていう方です。で僕たち主治医はこう言わないといけないですね。薬というのには程よい飲む期間っていうのが決まってるんです。それは皆さんが挑戦をし続けていって成功体験を積んでいって、ああ自分はできるようになってきたのと違うかなっていうふうに思うようになってから維持治療期間というのが始まります。でそこから半年間から1年間は治療を続けて、でその間にもっと成功してねっていうのが基本です。だから長すぎるという時にも僕たちはぼちぼち減らしてもいいかもよって言いますし、短すぎて早やめたいですっていう不安感強い方早やめたい方多いんでね、そうなっちゃった時にもいやもう少し待った方がいいんじゃないかっていうふうに言ったりもします。でこれもね患者さんだけで判断するとどうしても見落としがちになるしているので、主治医と相談していただくとちょうどいい期間っていうのを相談してくれたりアドバイスに乗ってくれたりする場合があるっていうことです。今分かりました。一瞬僕何しゃべるか飛んだんですよこういうこともよくあるんですね。でこれ積極臭くなることも多いので、時々こんなことを緊張しいとかSAD 社交不安症の人とおさらいすることがあります。3つのことを言っています。ぜひこれ思い出してほしいんです。皆さんに聞きたいんですけど、僕の今心臓がどんなふうに動いてるか分かるっていう方おられますか？心臓が見えるっていう方おられます？おらんよね。僕の心拍数がいくつかって想像つかないですよね。向かって左が何を言ってるかというと、多くの緊張しいの人って自分がドキドキしてるのって周りから丸見えやと思っちゃってるんですよ。見えますか？見えないよね。不思議なことなんですけど、人目が気になると全部身をお見通しやって思っちゃうんですよね。自分のこともあるでしょう。僕がずっとこの間この1時間ぐらいを通じて心拍数が100を超えてたっていうことに皆さん気づいてないんでしょずっとドキドキしながら喋ってました。でもこれ僕いいことやと思って喋ってるんですよ。この場で少し交感神経寄りにして皆さんにいいものを届けよう、パフォーマンスが上がってると思ってるからです。でもそんなにドキドキしてるって皆さん見えなかったです。逆もそうです。皆さんがどんなにドキドキしてて緊張しててこれって丸見えなんちゃうかと思っていても、僕からは皆さんはそんなふうには見えないですよね。周りの人からはあなたがどれだけ緊張してるか上がってるか基本的には分かんないっていう話です。2つ目です。何かにこそ価値があります。これすっごく大事な考え方です。これですね。もちろんね、僕たち成功体験から学びますよ。でも今までの人生よくよく考えてくださいね。何か大きくこのままであかんちゃうかとか何かやってみようとかって僕たち重大な決心をした時って成功した時より失敗した時の方が多かったかもしれないです。僕もそうです。僕はもともとこんな喋るの上手じゃないですよ。お医者さんになった時は3人ぐらいの人の中で患者さんのこれまでのストーリーとかを話すっていうことがうまく話せずにガタガタガタガタ震えてました。でもそれじゃあかん、これで失敗したと思ったからこそ少しずつ少しずつ自分の話す能力を高めようとしたっていうこともあります。話す能力だけではないですね。生まれてから一度もこけずに自転車に乗れるようになった方もいないし、生まれてから一度も転倒せずに歩けるようになった赤ちゃんもいない。僕たちは失敗していることからこそより多く学ぶことができます。失敗したら終わりっていうことはないです。このこともぜひ思い出してほしいです。失敗したらよかったって思ったっていいかもしれない。3つ目です。よしよししてくださいね。自分もです。これ厳しすぎる人多いんですよ。ちょっと失敗したことというか基本成功しているのにちょっとだけ失敗したことっていうのを思い出して、自分ってのはダメや、もうダメな自分やからやめた方がええんちゃうかって思いがちになっちゃいます。そうじゃないですよ。 周りから見たら皆さんも緊張なんて見えないし、皆さんの失敗にはちゃんと価値があるって分かってるし、僕たちはもっと自分ができたことっていうのをよしよししたって構わないと思います。学会発表しましてね、1年目の時に5人ぐらいだったんですよ、聴衆が。こんないっぱいいません、5人です。5人の前で僕は話して、しっどろもどろです。もうあかんちゃう、終わったんちゃうが俺の人生って終わりました。二度と学会発表なんかするかって思いました。その時にね、聴衆の一人が言ってくれたんですよ。うわー、つみくんすごいな、私5人の前でもお話しするなんてすっごい緊張するわ。まあ今回はちょっと詰まったところもあったけど、OKOK、私の方がもっと緊張したら詰まるし、まあ失敗したらもっとええことあるよ、それに割と堂々と見えたよ、うん、よかったんちゃうかなって言ってくれたんです。誰が言ってくれたか知ってます？のろけるようちの奥さんです。はい、そういう人が皆さんのすぐそばにもいてると思います。あなたの緊張は見えない、失敗こそ価値です、よしよししましょう、自分のね。で最後にちょっと偉い人の話をしましょう。誰か分かりますか？イラストでは分からんか。ガンジー知ってます？ガンジー知ってる人？
Oh, him.
マハトマ・ガンジー。ありがとうございます。じゃあ知っておいてください。インドっていう国ありますよ、でっかい国。インドって昔はでっかい植民地。
I forgot his name.
イン
Ganji
ドってでっかい植民地で、
from India.
まあ言うたら
What is
アメリカとかイギリスやったかな、イギリスに全く全部
what
占
his
領され
name?
た。
But yeah, I'm surprised he brought him
こん
in.
なでっかい人種差別の国やったんですよ。そこを独立させたインド独立の父って言われてる
Oh, for like
人が
yoga,
ガンジーっていう
maybe?
人です。一つの国の
Sorry, I'm like
そ
I'm
こを
like
独立さ
falling
せた
asleep. This guy
一国
can
の主のようになった人
walk
です。
well.
いかにも集団を率いていく上がり症なんかとは無縁のような人に思える人、ガンジーです。もしガンジーのことを知っている方おられたら、そのことを思い出しながら聞いてください。この人、典型的な社交不安症、上がり症です。だったんですよ。で、どれぐらい上がり症だったかって言ったら、学校で小学校の時に友達が一人もできなかった。学校では誰とも喋らず、誰とも喋らんでいいように、学校が終わると真っ先に家に帰ってきて閉じこもってたんです。頭すごく良かったんで、インドのすごく優秀な大学に合格しました。でも誰とも喋れなかったんです、緊張しいて。なので彼は何をしたか、逃げたんです。インドの大学にそのまま居続けることをやめて逃げてイギリスに行きました。イギリスに留学しました。イギリスに留学して言葉が通じなかった。言葉が通じない方がいいんですよ。言葉が通じてたら緊張してるとかどうとかって丸分かりになると思ったから、片言の英語だったから緊張してるから分かんない。だからちょっとだけリハビリがうまくいって少しだけ人と触れ合えるようになりました。でも卒業のスピーチの時に一言も喋れず、卒業スピーチですごい心の傷を受けて昇進なままにまたインドに帰ってきました。弁護士の資格を取りました。弁護士の資格を取って今度こそインドで弁護士としてやっていくんだ。インドでの最初の法廷ですね、裁判に弁護士として立った時、まだです、一言も口が動かず、ダメだ、もう弁護士として俺は無理だ。
Mahatma Gandhi, that's
まだ
it.
逃げました。
Mahatma Gandhi. Oh,
ど
my
こに
mouth.
逃げたか。
Mahatma
南ア
Gandhi.
フリカです。
Zinc.
南アフリカ共和国です。ご存知の方もおられるかもしれませんけれども、ガンジーが若かった頃の南アフリカっていうのは世界でも有数の人種差別国です。白人と黒人は同じ道路を歩いてはいけません。白人と黒人は同じトイレを使ってはいけません。白人と黒人は同じ列車に乗れません。黒人は家畜用とか荷物置き用の列車にしか乗れません。南アフリカに行った時にお金持ちだったんで、彼は一等客室に座っていたのに車掌がやってきて「出て行け!」って蹴落とされて出て行かされまして猛烈に怒りに震えたんですよ。でガンジーに考えたんですよね。どうしよう、こんな偉い国に来てしまった、一刻も早くインドに逃げて帰ろうかな。いや一応南アフリカには弁護士として来たし、言葉も通じへんけど弁護士の仕事これだけ受けたら帰ろうかな。 いや、上がり症と戦うのはもうごめんやけど、俺こんな扱いを受けるのはもう嫌や。なんやこの国は、俺たち肌に色のついた人間を差別しやがって。上がり症からは逃げまくったけど、人種差別と戦うここからだけは逃げないようにしようって思ったんですよ。そこで彼は法廷に立つ弁護士じゃなくて、有色人種が白人から差別されたっていうことと、そういう案件だけを扱う人種差別と戦う弁護士に変わったんですよ。何が起こったか分かりますか？上がり症と戦ってる間は、彼は上がり症を克服できず、逃げたんです。でもよかったんですよ。逃げた先にたどり着いたのが、彼が人生のテーマとして扱える人種差別と戦うっていう戦いがいのあるものに出会ったんです。上がり症と戦うなんかどうでもよくなっちゃったんですよ。その後人種差別と戦うために彼は自分の一生を捧げ、南アフリカの人種差別運動と戦って最終的には人種差別を受け続けていて、植民地として支配されてたインドを非暴力不服従っていうそういうやり方で白人と対抗して植民地政策から解放した偉大なことを成し遂げました。でポイントです。やってる間にいつの間にか上がり症と戦おうなんてしてなかったのに、何万人もの前で演説をしてたんですよ。こういうことです。逃げたって大丈夫っていうことを言いたいです。逃げたって大丈夫です。上がり症と戦うなんていうことは、実は皆さんの人生にとっては大した問題ではないんです。大事なことは、自分が本当に向き合って、これにはやる価値があるよっていうものをぜひ見つけていただいて、それと一生懸命向き合ったり、そのことを楽しんだり、それと戦って勝利を得るっていうことの方が
Really interesting.
上がるかどうかということを
I
戦
love
う
the
こと
fact
が
that
ずっと大
Japanese
切
is
で
nice
す。
to me.
なので今日のタイトルは上がり症を克服するっていうのではなく、上がり症なんかぶっ飛ばして、皆さんは自分の人生をもっと自分らしく生きるっていうことが本当は一番大事なんじゃないですかっていうお話をしたかったんです。1時間以上にわたってお話してしまいましたけれども、大変長時間聞いていただきましてありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。Cool. Oh my god. Aw. Okay. Oh, got the music. Let's do this one. What are the social anxiety symptoms and how can we manage them? This is Top Doctors UK. Oh, they have. Oh,
I would like to make a distinction here between social anxiety and social phobia.
oh wow.
Basically, they are both the same, but there's a difference in the degree.
They are.
Social anxiety means fear of social situations, where one fears about being embarrassed in a given situation. And these situations are either social gatherings or oral presentation or meeting new people. So whenever one's activities are under scrutiny by other people, whether in the form of eating or writing or walking or doing something else, person becomes self-conscious and it causes anxiety to the person. Now, if you ask general population, you will find that 1/3 of general population believe that
It's more common than
their
people
anxiety
realize.
is more than
Seriously.
normal. But that doesn't make it social phobia. It's only when the person starts avoiding the social situation or the desired setting that you call it social phobia, or the distress is so enormous that person doesn't enjoy it at all, then you call it social phobia. And this normally
He hasn't
happens
blinked once.
during
It's just
transition
me.
periods, when you transition from childhood to
Was he
adult-
reading the script? That's why.
adolescence,
I'm
or
sorry,
during
he hasn't
transition from
blinked
one job to another
once.
job, during transition in relationship from one relationship
Now he
to another
blinks.
relationship.
Yay! He's not
And
staring into
the
my
management
soul.
involves,
I'm sorry, dude, but
first,
we
you
looked like
must
he was
learn
staring
how
into
to
my soul
relax
there.
and get connected with your true real self, which is relaxed, and then expose yourself to a situation that is stress producing. Now that situation can be in your imagination in the form of hierarchy of stressful situations, or it could be in the real life situation when you go out there and expose yourself to a situation that causes stress to you.
Okay. You can never be immune to stress. Okay, this is the Arabic one. Sophie. Let me just read that. So, well, not really read it, but give me a second. I'll just quickly do this. Wait. I just need to like understand how to say it properly. Yeah. What has done? Wait, it doesn't sound right. I just gotta check the translation for it. Oh, 1 second. Oh, social phobia. Okay. Yeah, social phobia is a bit different to social anxiety. Anyway, moving on. Enjoy. This is in Arabic now.
كنت دايما بلاقي نفسي مش قادر أكون صحاب، حاسس دايما إني إنسان وحيد ومحدش مهتم بيا ولا مهتم إنه يصاحبني. وعادي ده ما كانش مضايقني، انا اصلا ما كنتش عايز حد يتعرف عليا، لان انا كنت كل ما بدخل شله جديده ما برتاحش وبحس اني مش مندمج معاهم، ولو قالوا لي تعالى اخرج معانا ما برضاش. ممكن تقول كده اني مرتاح في بيتي اكتر، مش عايز حد يشوفني مكسوف او قلقان، ولو حسيت بكده وسط الناس ببقى عايز الارض تتشق وتبلعني. فللاسف دي مشكلتي اللي بعاني منها من زمان، واللي بيسموها الرهاب الاجتماعي.
Social phobia. I've not seen the Arabic one for a while actually.
اهلا بكم في حلقه جديده من فارماستان. حلقه النهارده من سلسله حلقات الامراض النفسيه. فكره مرض الرهاب الاجتماعي موجوده من زمان، من 400 قبل الميلاد، في الوقت اللي كان ابيقراط بيوصف الشخص الخجول بشكل زياده انه شخص بيحب الظلام زي حياته ومفكر ان كل الناس بتراقبه، لحد اوائل القرن العشرين لما كان الدكاتره النفسيين بيستخدموا المصطلحات اللي زي الرهاب الاجتماعي للمرضى اللي بيكونوا مكسوفين بشكل زياده. اضطراب القلق الاجتماعي او اللي ممكن نقول عليه الرهاب الاجتماعي هو عباره عن خوف ملوش نهايه من المواقف الاجتماعية العادية، مشكلة منتشرة بشكل كبير وفي الغالب بتكون في سنين المراهقة، فالموضوع بيكون مؤلم جدا وليه تأثير كبير على حياة الشخص. طيب تعالى ناخد لفة في حياة إحدى الأشخاص اللي بيعاني من الرهاب الاجتماعي وهو لسه في سن المراهقة. فكان بيقول أنا بصحى الصبح وبروح المدرسة بالعافية، بلاقي نفسي صاحي في يوم جديد وأنا لوحدي. دايما بروح المدرسة بدري جدا عشان خايف اتأخر، عشان مش قادر اتحمل نظرة الناس ليا وانا داخل متأخر على الحصة وحاسس بالتقصير. اول ما بروح المدرسة المدرسين بيعدوا من جنبي وانا بفضل حاطط وشي في الارض عشان ما اضطرش اقول لحد صباح الخير. بروح الحصة وانا سامع صوت دوشة حواليا، كله قاعد بيتكلم مع بعضه وانا راسي لسه زي ما هي في الارض علشان مش عايز حد يبصلي. بفضل عامل كده حتى قدام المدرس بتاعي، اصلا انا مش عايز حد يسألني على حاجة. فأحيانا الموضوع بينجح ومرات تانية لأ، ولو في مرة مدرس سألني بقول أي حاجة واسكت تاني بسرعة، وبتمنى وقتها إن الأرض كانت تنشق وتبلعني. فيجي وقت البريك بلاقي نفسي برضو قاعد لوحدي أو مع الناس اللي أنا عارفهم من زمان، بس مفيش حاجة مشتركة بينا، بنقعد مع بعض مجرد تقضية واجب. فأنا عارف هما بيفكروا إزاي، قاعد معاهم وبتكلمش، حاطط وشي في الأكل وخلاص. أنا عارف كمان إن الكل بيقول عليا هو ماله، هو عامل كده ليه. بلاقي نفسي مش قادر أركز حتى لآخر اليوم. فاليوم خلص وخرجت من المدرسة ومروح ومفيش أي حاجة تتعمل، طول الوقت قاعد لوحدي في البيت ما بعملش حاجة، وما اتكلمتش قبل كده مع حد في الحاجة اللي أنا حاسس بيها. بس كان في مدرسة موسيقى حاولت تكلمني قبل كده وسألتني مالك، كنت بتكسف أقول لها أنا حاسس بإيه بالظبط، فهي ساعتها فكرتني مجنون. فأنا دايما بلاقي نفسي حاسس بإحباط، خايف يجيلي اكتئاب، قلقان من المستقبل، بس بقول يمكن كل حاجة هتبقى كويسة بعدين. أنا خايف ومش عارف إيه اللي مستنيني بعدين. الكلام اللي فات ده ما هواش مجرد خوف عادي، ده خوف شديد جدا بيكون خارج عن إرادة أي شخص لدرجة إن هو ممكن يوقف حياتهم. فممكن تلاقي الشخص ده قلقان لمجرد إنه عنده مناسبة كمان أسبوعين، مناسبة عادية، عنده فرح مثلا، فالموضوع بينتهي إن الشخص ده بيتجنب كل الأماكن والأحداث اللي بتسبب له الضيق أو بتحسسه إنه محرج. والموضوع ده بيحصل مع البنات أكتر من الولاد، والاختلاف ده بيكون واضح جدا عند المراهقين والشباب. طب يا ترى إيه هي أعراض المرض؟
So you're saying it's more
المصاب بالمرض
affecting
ده
for
بيكون عارف إن
girls
هو
than
قلقان طول
boys.
الوقت بس مش عارف
That's
يسيطر على
bullshit.
الموضوع
I think
ده.
it affects
فبنلاقي
both of them
الأعراض هنا
equally, to be
بتتقسم
honest.
لحاجتين، أعراض جسدية وأعراض نفسية. الأعراض الجسدية اللي بيحسوا بيها زي إن ضغط الشخص بيزيد جدا، وشه بيحمر زي الطماطم، بيعرق وبيترعش، حاسس إنه ساعات عايز يرجع، عنده صعوبة في الكلام من كتر التوتر اللي هو حاسس بيه. والأعراض دي برضه بتخليه دايما خايف إنه يترفض، وبتخليه دايما عنده خوف إن الأعراض دي تظهر له مرة واحدة، فتلاقيه دايما قاعد بيلف في حلقة لا نهائية، خايف إن الأعراض لا تيجي وخايف إن الأعراض لو جت اما بقى الاعراض النفسيه زي انه بيتكسف طول الوقت من المواقف الاجتماعيه اللي ممكن يحتك بيها مع ناس تانية، زي انه يقابل ناس غريبه او حد يشوفه وهو بياكل، او انه يكون مضطر يطلع يلقي
Public
خطبه او
speaking, eating
برزنتيشن
alone.
في المدرسه
It
او
does
في
happen to
الشغل،
people, like I
فبيكون
said.
خايف يتصرف تصرف معين لحسن الناس تعلق عليه وتجرحه، فبتلاقيه خايف من كل الناس. لو حد مثلا بدأ معاه بالكلام لو كان واقف في سوبر ماركت او طابور بيحس بخوف غير عادي. حتى جلسات العلاج النفسي ممكن تكون تقيله عليهم في الاول، فهتلاقيه برضه قاعد مش مرتاح عشان الناس اللي حواليه دول برضه ناس اغراب. فالقلق هنا مش اي قلق، ده قلق مفرط، قلق مبالغ فيه، فهو نوع من انواع القلق اللي بتيجي بسبب انك خايف لحد يحكم عليك لو اتكلمت مع اي حد او لو قابلت حد جديد. فكل دي بتكون حاجات طبيعيه جدا انت مش قادر تقوم بيها، زي انك تروح الحمام في اي مول. لا انا ما اقدرش اخش الحمام في اي حته بره بيتي عشان انا بتكسف. طب ما انت
No
دلوقتي
public
يعني
restrooms.
تعبان
Don't
وعايز
use it
تخش
anymore.
الحمام. لا مش هقدر، انا هفضل زي ما انا كده لحد ما اروح البيت لحسن حد يشوفني وداخل
I'd rather
الحمام
go
ويحكم عليا اي حكم
I would
كده
rather go
او
to the
يبص لي
toilet in my
بصه مش
house
حلوه.
than a
فهو
public
بيكون عايز
room.
يختلط
Public
بالناس،
restroom.
بس قبل ما ياخد اي خطوه بيكون عامل الف حساب. لان اول سؤال بيجي في باله لما بيكون عايز يكلم اي حد، طيب لو حصل كذا او حد قال لي كذا او حد بص لي
Does
بالنظره
anyone hear the
الفلانيه،
PS4?
هتصرف ازاي ساعتها؟ هيبقى شكلي ايه قدامهم؟
Music in the
فبعدها
background.
بتلاقيه
Kind of
يبدا يبعد
interesting.
شويه بشويه. دايما يبعد عن اي انشطه اجتماعيه زي انه يخرج مع اصحابه او اهله او انه يروح حفله. دايما بيكون متوتر انه يعمل اي حاجه تكون محرجه، دايما متردد لا يتحرج قدام الناس، فبيكون عنده صعوبة جامدة جدا انه يعمل حاجة وحد باصص عليه. دايما خايف ان حد ينتقده وبيحاول دايما يتجنب انه يعمل اي كونتاكت مع اي حد. ممكن كمان الشخص هنا يكون بيعاني من
That's
بعض
true.
المشاكل النفسية التانية اللي زي الاكتئاب واضطراب القلق العام او اضطراب الهلع، فبيحس ان جسمه متصلب ثابت في مكانه، ولو جيت تتكلم معاه هتلاقيه بيتكلم بصوت هادي جدا. فدايما هتلاقيه بيقول انا ما عنديش اي حاجة اقولها، حاسس دايما اني غريب، حاسس اني هقول حاجة غبية، قلقان لحسن يشوفوني وانا بقول كذا، انا محدش بيحبني، ممكن يشوفوني غبي. لا انا مش هتكلم في الحاجات دي احسن ممكن يفكروني غبي.
Sorry.
طب هو انا لو اتكلمت مع حد
وشوفوني غبي.
هل هيرضى يرد عليا؟ فلو في اي
Meaning
حاجه من
like a
الاعراض
low
دي
life.
مستمره مع اي شخص لمده 6 شهور على الاقل، وكل الحاجات دي بتخليه مش قادر
The fear
يقوم
of
بمهامه
judgment.
اليوميه، فغالبا الشخص ده مصاب بالرهاب الاجتماعي. طيب هو الطفل المصاب بالمرض ده ممكن يحس بايه؟ هتلاقي الطفل قاعد بيعيط كتير جدا، اي حاجه ممكن تخليه غضبان، بيحاول يبعد عن اي تجمعات فيها
So is it
اطفال او
inheritance?
كبار، خايف يروح المدرسه، ولو راح هيخاف يشارك في اي
Is scared
نشاط
to
او
go
اي
to
مناسبه
school?
تبع
Usual
المدرسه،
stuff.
دايما
The
معتمد
usual
بشكل
stuff
كبير
that is
على
taken
باباه
a
او
bit
مامته،
narrate.
فهتلاقيه مش عارف يعمل اي حاجه لوحده، وهتلاقيه دايما متجنب التعامل مع الناس. طيب هو ايه السبب ورا المرض ده؟ بيقول لك ان في منطقه في الدماغ اسمها اللوزه او الاميجدلا، واللوزه دي هي موقع مركزي
Yeah,
في
they all
الدماغ
said
بتكون
that
قادره
as
على
well.
التحكم في استجابات الخوف. المهم ان اللوزه دي بتكون نشطه جدا وبتكون مسؤوله عن التغيرات الفسيولوجيه اللي بتخلينا نعرف نتصرف صح في جزء من الالف من الثانيه لما نتعرض لاي حاجه خطيره تستدعي اننا نهرب منها او اننا نقاتل. فلما تنشط بشكل كبير هتخلي الجسم في حالة دفاع دائم عن نفسه، ودايما قلقان وخايف من التهديدات
Meaning you
اللي
take
هو واهم
control of
نفسه
what's going
بيها.
on
في
for
منطقة
you,
اللوزة دي لما
your
بتنشط
body.
بيجي معاها شوية أعراض زي القلق الشديد وزيادة في معدل ضربات القلب، وهتلاقي إيدك بتعرق ونفسك مش عارف تاخده، ده
Haraq,
غير إن
which is like
هيحصل لك شد
sweating.
عضلي ومستوى السكر في الدم هيزيد، وفوق كل ده مش هتبقى عارف تفكر بشكل طبيعي زي الناس العادية. فلما أي إنسان طبيعي يحس بزيادة في القلق، التركيز بيبدأ يتنقل لجزء في الدماغ اسمه قشرة الفص الجبهي، ومهمته هنا إنه يهدي ردود الأفعال ويخليك تتحكم في كل حاجة بهدوء وعقلانية، يعني بيخليك تتصرف صح وما تتوترش على الفاضي. ولو ما كانش فيه ساعتها أي تهديد حقيقي حصل لك، هيروح يبعت إشارات للوزة ويقول لها تهدى على نفسها شوية وتبطل قلق. لكن الموضوع بيكون مختلف تماما في حالة الرهاب الاجتماعي، لأن اللي بيحصل هنا إن قشرة الفص الجبهي بدل ما تروح للوزة وتقول لها اهدي، لا دي بتخليها
So
تشتغل
one of the
بزيادة،
causes
لأن
he's talking
الأشخاص
about.
دول بيكونوا خايفين لدرجة إن دماغهم بتفسر التفاعلات الاجتماعية إنها تهديدات، فوقتها الشخص مش هيقدر يفكر أي تفكير عقلاني، لأنه هيكون شايف الناس اللي قدامه دول كأنهم أشباح، مش أشباح بالمعنى الحرفي. لكن لحسن الحظ إن إحنا ممكن نعيد برمجة الدماغ من تاني في إحدى المراحل العمرية عن طريق العلاج. طب يا ترى إيه أسباب المرض ده؟ السبب هنا ممكن يكون وراثي، يعني الأقارب من الدرجة الأولى بيكون عندهم الفرصة إنهم يصابوا بيه من 2 ل6 مرات، وبرضه لما الأهل يتحكموا
مرات.
بشكل
Oh my
كبير في
gosh.
عيالهم أو دايما ينتقدوهم أو مش قادرين يحسسوهم بالحب أو حتى مهتمين بكلام الناس بشكل مرضي، فطبيعي الصورة اللي هتتكون للطفل تبقى مهزوزة ومش كاملة، لأن ابن خالته دايما أحسن منه. فوقتها الطفل ده هيبقى خايف طول الوقت وما عندوش أي ثقة في نفسه، لأننا من الأول ربناه في بيئة بتدمره ومش بتخليه يحترم ذاته، وأوقات كتير إن ما كانش أغلب الآباء مش بياخدوا بالهم من طريقة التعامل الصحيح مع أطفالهم، وما بيكونش عارف إن الأفعال اللي هو بيعملها دي ممكن تأذي ابنه، فممكن حاجات تأثر على الطفل زي إنه كان بيتضرب، صحابه بيتنمروا عليه، في دايما خناقات أسرية وعنف أسري وحالات طلاق، أو لو إحدى الوالدين ماتوا وهو في سن صغير، أو كان حتى حصل إجهاد للأم أثناء ما كانت حامل فيه. طب يا ترى هل الرهاب الاجتماعي منتشر؟ الاضطراب ده غالبا بيبتدي في مرحلة الطفولة أو في بداية المراهقة، ونادرا ما بيتكون بعد سن 25 سنة. بيقولك إن في حوالي 15 مليون إنسان أمريكي بالغ بيعاني من الاضطراب ده. المراهقين اللي بيتم نقلهم من إعدادي للثانوي أو الكلية بيكونوا معرضين أكتر وبشكل خاص للرهاب الاجتماعي، وفي أغلب الأحيان بيبدأ عند عمر 13 سنة. طيب لو أنا شخص مصاب بالرهاب الاجتماعي، إزاي أقدر أتعامل معاه عشان أعرف أتحكم فيه؟ حاول تقسم المواقف الصعبة لأجزاء صغيرة، وحاول تشتغل على كل جزء لوحده. ركز مع الحاجات اللي الناس بتقولها من غير ما تفترض الأسوأ. حاول دايما تقرأ عن الاضطراب ده وتعرف معلومات أكتر عشان تعرف إزاي تقدر تدير حالتك بأبسط الطرق
One second, I
والمحاولات.
just have to
شوف
fix
كل
my
الأفكار اللي
model for a bit. One sec. I'm still here. I just need to fix my next will be home for some reason. Not a good time for me. I'm just gonna like calibrate this so I can just lean back. There you go. Excuse me. What a day. I've been awake since I've been awake. Oh, my model doesn't seem to want to work. I have been awake since 7 a.m. I probably should stop soon, but it's fine. Carrying on.
تقلقك واللي ممكن تيجي على بالك وحاول تحلها. اسأل نفسك ليه بتفكر فيها، وافترض دايما الأسوأ، واستعد ليها بطريقة منظمة. وأول ما هتغير طريقة تفكيرك للموضوع ده هتقدر تصلح أمورك بشكل أفضل. حاول دايما تكون منتبه، لازم تكون حاضر ومدرك لمشاعرك. حاول كمان تتأمل باستمرار في أي حاجة بتريحك. وعشان أثبت لك أهمية التأمل، في دراسة انتشرت في مجلة اسمها Social Cognitive and Affective Neuroscience بتقول إن التأمل ليه آثار
That was
مهمة
so nice with the way he
جدا
said it
على
in
نشاط
English.
مناطق معينة في الدماغ. والمشاركين في الدراسة دي واللي كان عندهم قلق مستمر ومارسوا موضوع التأمل ده يوميا لمدة 20 دقيقة، لقوا إن القلق اللي كان عندهم
Yoga.
بدأ يقل
I've
بنسبة
tried it. I'm not very good at
39%.
it.
حاول
Just
كمان
giggle.
تتبع أسلوب حياة صحي عشان موضوع القلق يبدأ يقل معاك، لأن العقل والجسد مرتبطين ببعض، فالطريقة اللي هتتعامل بيها مع جسمك ليها تأثير كبير جدا على باقي حياتك، بما فيهم القلق اللي انت بتمر بيه. حاول تقلل الكافيين بشتى الطرق، يعني بلاش قهوة، بلاش مشروبات طاقة، لأن الكافيين اللي موجود في المشروبات دي هيبدأ يشتغل كمنشط، بالتالي مستوى القلق يبدأ يزيد عندك وضربات القلب تبقى سريعة. فلو ما قدرتش توقف الكافيين، حاول تمارس تمارين بشكل مستمر. ومن أهم الحاجات اللي لازم تعملها في أي نظام صحي إنك تشرب مية كتير عشان تحافظ على رطوبة جسمك. غير كده كمان حاول دايما تنام
Water's
كويس،
good for your
علشان قلة
skin.
النوم
It's
ممكن
true, it
يكون ليها
is.
سبب كبير في
Actually.
القلق، وطبيعي ان قله النوم
Guess
كمان
I'm
تاثر على
far, don't
الحاله
I? Oh
المزاجيه.
God.
حاول تبقى لطيف مع نفسك، وافتكر ان مفيش حد مثالي. طبيعي اي حد يحس باحراج، والموضوع ممكن يكون صعب معاك، واوقات كتير هترجع تفكر نفس التفكير السلبي، وهتحس انك اتخنقت ومش عارف تهدى على نفسك. بس مش معنى كده انك فشلت. خد دقيقه من وقتك وركز على الحاجه اللي معاك وعلى الحاضر اللي انت
Excuse me.
فيه، فهتلاقي نفسك بترجع تاني ترتب الدنيا من جديد. حاول دايما تتكلم وتواجه مخاوفك. الرحلة ممكن تكون طويلة ومحتاجة شوية وقت وشوية صبر، فما تترددش أبدا إنك تطلب مساعدة. طب يا ترى بعد كل اللي قلناه ده، هل في
Oh, I
علاج؟
might do the
أول نوع من
Genshin concert
العلاج هو
tomorrow.
العلاج السلوكي
Reaction.
المعرفي، وده بيتم مع معالج نفسي. والنوع
I
ده من
forgot
العلاج
that actually.
هيساعدك إنك
Actually.
تحدد نمط تفكيرك والسلوكيات السلبية اللي أنت بتمر بيها وإزاي ممكن تعالجها. فممكن الموضوع يتم بينك وما بين المعالج النفسي فقط، أو في وجود مجموعات دعم. في النوع ده من العلاج الشخص بيبدأ يتعلم ويمارس المهارات الاجتماعية العادية، لأن العلاج ده بيركز أكتر على مواجهة المواقف اللي الشخص ده بيتعرض لها، وبيساعدك إنك تدخل فيها من غير ما تتجنبها. فالموضوع ده غالبا بيتم مع تمرين الاسترخاء عشان تطلع بأحسن نتيجة ممكنة، وبيتم على 3 مراحل. أول مرحلة بنعرف الشخص بالموقف اللي بيخاف منه. تاني مرحلة هنحسسه إنه مرفوض وفي خطر عشان يقدر يتحكم في ثقته بنفسه ويتعامل مع الرفض ده. أما بقى تالت مرحلة هنعلمه إزاي يتعامل مع الموضوع ده، والمرحلة دي بتتطلب منه إنه يتخيل أسوأ مخاوفه، ونشجعه إنه يطور ردود أفعاله على الخوف والرفض اللي نابع من دماغه فقط. فغالبا بنستخدم موضوع التنفس العميق عشان نسيطر على القلق تحت مراقبة المعالج. والطريقة لأن العلاج علشان تجيب نتيجة ممكن غالبا تستمر لمدة 12 أسبوع. أما بقى بالنسبة لمجموعات الدعم فدي بتكون مفيدة جدا، بيكون الشخص قاعد فيها مع ناس بيعانوا من نفس مشكلته، وهنا هيبدأ ياخد معلومات وتعليقات من غير تحيز، وكلام بيكون صحيح من ناس مرت بنفس اللي هو مر بيه، فوقتها الشخص هيعرف المفروض يحس بإيه أو يتصرف إزاي. تاني حاجة هي العلاج بالأدوية. ممكن هنا نستخدم مضادات الاكتئاب من نوع SSRI أو مثبطات السيروتونين الانتقائية، أو حاجة تانية اسمها
So, like I said with the
SNRI
Japanese
أو
one as well,
مثبطات
it's the
السيروتونين
treatment.
والنور أدرينالين. أو ممكن نستخدم حاجة اسمها البنزودايزيبينز أو حاجة اسمها بيتا بلوكرز. المهم إن كل الحاجات دي لازم تتم تحت إشراف طبيب، فتعال نتكلم على كل واحدة فيهم ونعرف هي عبارة عن إيه وبتشتغل إزاي. أول نوعين من الدواء اللي هما ال SSRI وال SNRI دول بنستخدمهم في علاج الاكتئاب بشكل مستمر، بس برضه ممكن نستخدمهم في علاج الاضطراب ده، والموضوع ممكن ياخد وقت شوية، زائد الأعراض الجانبية اللي ممكن يحسوا بيها زي الصداع والغثيان وصعوبة النوم. تاني نوع من الأدوية اللي هي اسمها بيتا بلوكرز، دي بتساعد في إنها تهدي ضربات القلب وتقلل العرق والرعشة اللي غالبا بيحس بيهم. تالت نوع من الأدوية هي حاجة اسمها بنزودايزيبينز زي الزولام أو الزانكس اللي اتكلمنا عليه في حلقة قبل كده، والنوع ده من الأدوية هو بيكون أصلا مضاد للقلق، يعني بيحاول قدر الإمكان إنه يهدي الشخص ويقلل مشاعر القلق اللي هو بيحس بيها، بس مشكلته إن هي ممكن تدخله في حالة إدمان، عشان كده لازم تتم تحت إشراف طبيب، لأن المريض ممكن بكل بساطة إنه يزود الجرعة مع نفسه ويخش في حالة إدمان من غير هو ما يعرف. العلاج بشكل عام ممكن ياخد شوية وقت لحد ما يشتغل، سواء كان علاج نفسي أو علاج بالأدوية، لأن كمان الناس بتفضل تجرب كتير لحد ما تلاقي أكتر دواء مناسب ليها، بس في الآخر بيعرفوا إيه الحاجة المناسبة لحالتهم واللي بيكملوا عليه. يعني أهم حاجة في الكلام ده كله الاستمرارية. الرهاب الاجتماعي ممكن يكون سبب منك حياتك، مش عارف تعيش بشكل صحيح زي بقية الناس، دايما مستغرب من كل حاجة حواليك، بس ده مش نهاية العالم، وأكيد هيكون في مخرج تقدر تتغلب منه على مخاوفك. فافتكر إنك مش لوحدك وإن كلنا معاك، حاسين بيك وبمعاناتك. أشوفكم الحلقة الجاية. لو المحتوى اللي بنقدمه عجبك وعايزنا نستمر، اشترك في قناة فارماستان على يوتيوب وما تنساش تشغل الجرس. هتلاقي المصادر تحت الفيديو، هتلاقي الاكونت الشخصي بتاعي على انستجرام لو حابب تتابعني بشكل شخصي. تابعنا باستمرار وكن مواطن في جمهورية فارماستان. السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام. Alright. Moving on to the next one. I like this one.
I want you to think about the last 6 months of your life, and whenever something seems to fit, go ahead and keep track on your fingers. I get scared in social situations or situations where I have to perform. When I'm in social situations,
wait, do we do this?
My heart races, I sweat a lot, I might start shaking, or even have difficulty breathing. Social anxiety is holding me back from the life I want to live. I worry about being judged, rejected, humiliated, embarrassed, ridiculed, or doing something that might offend someone else. I avoid social situations, and if I can't avoid them, I minimally participate, hide, or leave early. I try to plan out what I'm going to say or do in social situations. I use substances like alcohol, cannabis, medications, or objects to help me cope with the stress of being around other people. How many fingers are you holding?
Cannabis is illegal,
more, and you might be dealing with social anxiety disorder. I want you to think about the last 6 months of your life, and whenever something...
Okay, that one's done. One. He's American, this one.
Say it's your first day at a new job. Maybe you're nervous or jittery. You want to make a good impression. Those feelings are pretty normal, and they may actually help you be more alert and careful. But after a few weeks, once you're used to the job and you know your co-workers, that nervousness usually diminishes, right? Well, for some people, that initial anxiety is really high, and it stays really high over time. For those people, the fear of being judged negatively by new people might be so daunting that it affects their ability to do their job well. In fact, even the idea of having to be somewhere where they may be scrutinised by others might make them not want to do the job in the first place. This describes social anxiety disorder. It's unclear what causes social anxiety disorder, but it's thought to be a combination of genetic and environmental factors, like having a close relative with social anxiety disorder, or being exposed to neglect and abuse. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or DSM-5, defines social anxiety disorder as causing individuals to fear acting in a certain way that might make them get judged, and it can cause anxiety that interferes with their normal routine as well as their relationships. And what's more is the fear of anxiety is persistent, lasting for 6 or more months. Usually, social anxiety disorder causes distress for individuals in specific social situations or circumstances. For example, one person might get really anxious when making small talk with acquaintances or meeting new people, whereas another person might get performance anxiety and not feel able to give a presentation or give a toast at a friend's wedding. Social anxiety disorder is an ego-dystonic condition, meaning that people who have the disorder usually understand that their anxiety is unwarranted, but unfortunately, that awareness can cause more anxiety because they'll fear that others can tell how anxious they are.
That's true.
Sometimes, individuals might worry that they may be having physical symptoms, like trembling or blushing, that others may notice and judge them for. Sometimes the anxiety can get so severe that it causes something called derealization, meaning that a person might feel spaced out and may be less able to recognize their surroundings. In order to reduce their social inhibitions, some people with social anxiety use drugs and alcohol, and that can lead to dependency and addiction.
That's true. That's very true, actually.
The DSM-5 states that in order to make a diagnosis of social anxiety disorder, the fear or avoidance shouldn't be due to the effects of a medication or due to another condition. And that's important because there are key features of social anxiety disorder that overlap with other conditions. For example, in generalized anxiety disorder, individuals have anxiety, but it's not limited to being judged in a social context. The anxiety is usually broader and it includes non-social concerns, like finances or physical safety. Another example is agoraphobia, where people avoid public places for fear of being trapped and not being able to escape, just in case something embarrassing happens or if they begin to panic. But in agoraphobia, the fear is less about being judged and more about being trapped in a crowd and not able to escape.
Claustrophobia is a real thing.
Treatment usually involves psychotherapy, medication, or a combination of the two. If it's psychotherapy, cognitive behavioural therapy is recommended, since it teaches a person new ways of thinking and behaviours to help them in being around others. Antidepressants are the most common choice of medication, specifically selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRIs, serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, or SNRIs, as well as benzodiazepines and beta blockers. SSRIs help regulate serotonin levels in the brain, while SNRIs help regulate serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine to manage anxiety. Benzodiazepines are psychoactive drugs that have a relaxing effect, and beta blockers can help ease the physical symptoms of performance anxiety. Though medication can be effective in the short term, cognitive behavioural therapy has more advantages in the long term due to the potential of unwanted side effects.
That's true.
Alright, so as a quick recap, people with social anxiety disorder have heightened anxiety about acting in a way or showing symptoms of anxiety that will be negatively scrutinised by others. Anxiety that is restricted only to performance is a specific type of social anxiety. The anxiety is almost always present in a particular social situation, and it's severe enough that it interferes with the normal course of life.
Oh, is that it? Oh no. That's it. Never mind. Oh, Tyson? Where's that? Oh gosh,
Hi everyone, Sarah here.
That was 6 years ago. Wow. Wait, where are the... Wait. The survey
Osmosis
says...
is a powerful health learning platform
Oh,
that
it's
aims...
American. I didn't even realize. I thought they were British. I didn't even... Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to be right back. I need to pee. BRB. Hello, I'm back. All right, we're gonna do this one. Oh, where am I? There I am. Hi. Okay, we're gonna do this one. I know it's very, very old, but almost 7 years ago, but it's still interesting. This is kind of good because it will show from where. This is definitely American, by the way. I definitely didn't realize till ages. This is from like before to now. If that makes sense. So enjoy.
Therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy. Basically, this is a type of psychological treatment where people learn about the problem. They get an explanation of, why it is they feel that way in their social situations, and they really learn the link between kind of how they feel and the way they think about social situations, and how that then influences their behavior. And so the big thing in social anxiety disorder is when you feel uncomfortable, when you have these thoughts that people are going to think I'm stupid if I speak up, you don't say anything. And if you haven't done that for 10 years, it becomes very difficult to overcome. And so what a therapist will do in cognitive behavioral therapy is help people to kind of understand this pattern and then work with them to gradually overcome it, to say, okay, I know you have these thoughts when you're in these kinds of situations. How realistic are the thoughts? Let's test it out. Let's ask some people whether when you say something, the first thing they think is,
I bet this is from the 1930s or even
and maybe
later.
Those thoughts aren't that realistic. And if they're not
60s.
that realistic, then maybe you could start practicing, testing out some of these things and kind of unlearn some of the bad habits you've had and kind of learn that these things are safe to do and actually can be enjoyable. That's the other part about social anxiety disorder. People, even though they crave the social interaction because they know that's what people need, it's been so hard for them to do that they've sometimes lost the enjoyment of doing it. And part of it is them learning that, I can actually get pleasure out of talking to other people and getting to know them and then getting to know me.
All right, moving on. Next one. We don't have a lot left, actually. This is USA. It's not that long, hopefully, this guy. Enjoy.
Peterson, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. Today I wanted to talk about social anxiety and how we treat it. Before we jump into all that, are you new to my channel? If you are, make sure you subscribe because I'm going to be posting videos weekly on different mental health issues. So what is social anxiety? The title of social anxiety kind of gives it away. It's where an individual will feel anxious socially. So when they are out and about, even if they're not even talking, they can feel anxious. Somebody can go to school, they'll feel anxious. They could be at home, they can feel anxious. Be at the dinner table. Even people they're comfortable with, they still feel anxious.
Yay.
Some triggering symptoms for social anxiety are being introduced to other people, being teased or criticized, being the center of attention, being watched or observed doing something, having to say something in a formal or even public situation. I think a lot of us feel anxious in that.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow my channel as well, by the way.
Just the feeling of being out of place in a social situation. Somebody who might get embarrassed or shake easily. Sometimes just keeping eye contact with somebody. Social anxiety can even manifest itself in many different ways. It could be somebody swallowing or even writing, the sound that their pen makes on the paper. Eating ice, eating anything. Hopefully they don't make that sound.
I've eaten ice,
a lot of individuals have a difficult time making phone calls. Thank goodness for texting, but wait, did texting make this situation worse? Individuals with social anxiety tend to notice others' emotions easier.
Yeah,
they will notice tones of voice. They will notice the wrinkle you have on your forehead when you talk to them. They'll notice where your eyes are looking. They'll notice how you are because they need to interpret what that means. I feel anxious because I don't know what that person's thinking about me. I don't know if what I just said was dumb. I don't know if people are judging me because of that. The comment that came out of my mouth wasn't relevant to the conversation. What are people thinking? A lot of individuals will do some avoidance behaviors. You know what? If I don't have to go out, I'm not even gonna feel anxious about it.
Blinked.
So why would I go out? If I'm invited to go to some event, my brain's already scheming, it's already thinking, it's already wondering what is going to happen while I'm
yeah,
there.
it's true.
Am I going to meet somebody? Am I going to be stuck in the corner? And the brain's going to start coming up with different ideas to keep you safe. It's going to say, pull out your phone, look really busy. Because guess what? If you're on your phone, no one's going to talk to you. Maybe you can act like you're on a phone call. That'd be even better because then you can leave the situation a little bit easier. Phones have definitely become a big motivator in keeping social anxiety alive. So where does social anxiety come from? We know that genetics tends to play a part in this, that family members can have social anxiety, they can have generalized anxiety where they just don't know where the anxiety comes from. They can also have OCD, they can have depression. We know that there's some mental illness that probably has gone down the line, and the older generations didn't talk about it. At least most of them didn't.
They never will.
They don't want to talk about what they're experiencing. They just know that, let's say they had social anxiety. They know that they kept themselves safe by not having to communicate with others. They made it this far. As we know, genetics does play that part, but also it's a learned behavior as well. So let me give you an example. If I started off my school year, school starting soon, and I sat in the very, very, very back, and every single day I came in, I have my phone with me and I'm looking down on my phone, and there's students piling in and they're looking at each other and they're talking, but I'm the only one on my phone like this. That I just completely avoided contact with other people. I said, I'm busy, I'm gonna sit in the back to avoid talking. Even if that wasn't really my intention, that my brain's gonna start learning over time that when I'm not communicating with others, it's gonna be a little harder for me to do so in the future. And it's possible that when I do talk, I might have a poor experience. Someone says something rude, or I might actually perceive it as rude. So my brain says, there you go, that's the reason you stay in the back. That's the reason you always have your phone out, or you always have your earbuds in. Don't even risk having that happen again. I also don't want to blame phones as being the culprit to social anxiety. I know that there's so many different things that we can learn over time, and it's really behavior by behavior by behavior by behavior. Every little decision that we make is going to impact either social anxiety, our general life, happiness, even if we don't think it's a big deal. If I'm driving down the road and all of a sudden someone cuts me off and I'm saying, wow, that person's very selfish. They didn't think about anyone else but themselves, and they didn't even use a turning signal. I just kind of started my day off with some negative thinking that actually is not even true. I don't know what that person did. All I know is they cut me off. I have no evidence to support that they're a jerk. I have no evidence to support that they are selfish. I do have evidence to support they didn't use that turning signal, but that doesn't define everything. So my brain kind of just learned there that people are not great. That people make bad decisions. They do things to hurt us. When really I didn't take the time to actually challenge my own thinking. To say, hey, what if that person's headed to the hospital for some reason? What if they're a brand new driver and they accidentally cut me off and they're so sorry for it, but they can't see him in the car, but I'm just perceiving all these thoughts about them. So what is the treatment for social anxiety? Obviously, if you have children, don't protect. Allow them to do scary things. Make them talk. Let them fail. Let bad things happen.
It's true.
Also, if you have a family with multiple siblings, pay attention to if one is talking for the other. It is actually very common in families where someone might say, hey, how old are you? And the older brother says, oh, she's 3. Yes, that's such a small little interaction, but guess what? That 3-year-old just learned, hey, someone's kind of talking for me, and that's great. They're actually going to learn possibly to develop some social anxiety over time. If you are the individual yourself with social anxiety, challenge yourself. Allow yourself to get out. Know that things aren't going to be great at all times.
Easier said than done, but it does
Most
happen.
of the time it is. But know that perception is the killer here, not social anxiety. We've got to understand that the way we're thinking about things and people and situations to know if they are actually true or if they're false. So 2 types of treatment that I typically use. One of them is called perceptual retraining. We've got to understand the different types of thinking errors that somebody might have, such as jumping to conclusions or magnifying a situation. And we have to determine if that thought is true or false. And the good way that I do this is say, pretend you are standing in front of Judge Judy and that thought that you just had needs to be true. So how are you going to defend yourself? What are you going to say? Okay, well, that person's judging me because I feel like that's true. What do you think she's gonna say? She's gonna laugh us right out of the courtroom. Feeling is not fact. Feelings are important. We don't want to disregard feelings.
That's true.
But we also want to
say,
I
actually agree with that.
I have no evidence to support my own thinking right now. Or I might have little evidence.
It's true.
But a little evidence doesn't mean exactly what my brain is saying. So if I said, I'm jumping to conclusions about this, I need to determine what's another alternative? What's another scenario? My brain is saying if I go to that party, people are going to talk to me and I'm going to feel anxious about it. I'm going to feel awkward and I'm going to be awkward. Then we're going to say, wait a second, I don't know that. I haven't been there. It could be true, it could not be true, but I have no evidence to support it. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to make it purposeful. I'm not going to go there and be on my phone because then I just already told myself how it's going to be. I'm going to go and I'm going to risk that I possibly might make a mistake. I might sound weird. People might judge me. But unless someone says, haha, I'm judging you, we don't know any different. We're not going to feel it. We're not going to think it. And if we feel it, we need to challenge it. One situation going out isn't going to change everything. It needs to be a mindset. It needs to be something that you are thinking about every day, every situation that you're going into. Do I want to pull out my phone right now just because I want to be on it? Or do I want to pull out my phone because I want to avoid talking to this person over here? If I want to avoid talking to this person over here, I better put my phone away and not even like look away from them, but make sure I'm looking in their general direction.
Yeah.
I'm going to risk that that person's going to talk to me and almost be excited if they do. Make it almost a game if you can. Another aspect, which I've kind of already talked about, is exposure and response prevention. I want somebody to get out there and expose themselves to these situations on purpose.
Yeah,
Think of building
that's
a
why I said
hierarchy. What's a small step you can start with? And then build, and then build,
I've
and
messaged
then build,
people.
and then
If they
build.
message me, great.
That somebody might
If they
say,
don't,
I have a really
fine.
hard time just keeping eye contact with people. So I'm going to go to a grocery store and I'm just going to look at every single person. Not awkwardly, but I'm going to look at every person.
Not awkwardly.
And I don't even have to say hi yet. That's all I'm going to do is just look at every single person. And that is my goal every time I'm in public. Until that really is kind of boring for me. And then after I'm done doing that, I'm like, if someone happens to look back, how about I say hi? That might be a second step. That if I say hi and all of a sudden I feel like people are judging, I'm like, wait a second, go back to the first part of the treatment, perceptual retraining. How can I prove that that person is judging me? How can I prove that even the feeling that I have is true? That's called emotional reasoning. Just because we feel a certain way doesn't actually mean it's true. But our body and our brain say that it's true. So it's kind of a two-parter. Expose yourself to the upsetting situation and challenge your own thinking. Make this a lifestyle. Make it a game that you are doing. I will create a whole separate video exactly every little aspect of this treatment, but a good place to start is find all the things that you're doing to avoid. Put those away. Risk. It's not going to feel great. That's just the truth of it. At the beginning, it's not going to feel great. But there's going to be a point where you are seeking that attention from other people. If other people judge, they judge. If they don't, they don't.
This is one of my reasons I like. It's almost out of spite, but it's not as well.
I do like individuals to try the treatment as well. That way, they're not just counting on this medication to help. So my question for you: do you have social anxiety? What things do you find that you are doing to avoid people or places or things? Let me know in the comments below. I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, make sure you forward this on to your friends as well.
But yeah. Okay, we have, we can go through this one. This is another Japanese site. What even has the name? That's interesting. This is both for like Japanese speakers and readers. Japanese speakers mostly. So this is the guy that we spoke about before. This is his YouTube, not YouTube, Twitter. He talks about sleep. I think we spoke about this before, I think. That is the guy. Medical and health, yeah. I was like tempted to change mine, but I'm gonna do it as content. So the ADHD is a lot more common than people realize as well. So yeah, even autism. There is a singer, I forgot his name. He has autism. Kenji something, I forgot his name. One did Lemon. He has autism. I think this will be the last one, and that's it. How I wish I was taught.
It's not about being shy, awkward, introverted, or on the spectrum. It's about wanting connection, struggling with attention, and fearing rejection. Hi, I'm psychologist Dr. Ali Matu. I've had social anxiety since I was a kid. I spent the first part of my career treating it as an anxiety specialist at Columbia University. Now I'm sharing everything I've learned on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to explain social anxiety disorder. What it is, why it's important, how it works, and what to do about it. We all get socially anxious every now and then, but for people who have social anxiety disorder...
Yeah, sorry guys, this will be the last one, and then we'll have to go to bed.
People with social anxiety disorder experience a lot of fear when they think people are looking at them or when they feel like they're performing in front of others. There are a lot of anxiety sensations that might get triggered in these situations, but some of the most common are a racing heart rate, difficulty breathing, a lot of sweating or trembling or shaking. This makes it really hard to be fully present in that social situation. All these thoughts start to bubble up about how you're stupid, strange, awkward, dumb, weird, don't belong here. You should get out of here because you're probably going to embarrass yourself and you're also just offensive to everyone around you. This feels terrible. So maybe you drop eye contact and you start hiding and escape the first moment you can, and then you stop going to these kind of social situations in the future. Now, for those of you who've never experienced social anxiety, I know this might be hard to understand. So I'm going to make it really
It's true, you guys are so fucking lucky.
Think about the worst, most difficult
since I was a child, but obviously that's changed now.
Work or school. Remember how anxious you were leading up to it, how worried you were. Maybe you practice over and over again, or you tried avoiding thinking about it as much as you could. And then remember the day of, how you had all these butterflies in your stomach. It was hard for you to digest anything. You couldn't think about anything else but this presentation. You finally got up there, it was hard to get the words out. And even though you got through it, and some people said you did a good job, you were doubting those
one
people.
sec, my mother's a bit weird today. He's like leaning. For some reason, I have no idea he's doing that. 1 second, let me just calibrate this. So we are still here. We're gonna just do this and then we'll be done. All right. I'm a bit surprised actually that someone's online now.
Except not for the worst presentation you've ever given, but every day of your life with regular social situations, like returning a text message or ordering something at the restaurant.
No. I'm alright with that. I've improved. If you see me like almost 5 years ago or even like 7 years ago, I was really bad.
This girl I really liked, let's call her Stephanie, she invited me over for her birthday party. She invited the whole class. I didn't know that, but I was super excited to go. And it was a pool party. So I showed up, changed into my swim trunks, and then I jumped into the pool. And then I got up, and everyone was pointing and laughing. No, my swim trunks didn't fall off, but I forgot to take off my socks, and everyone there thought that was really funny. And that image of everyone pointing and laughing.
That's stupid. That's nothing.
I couldn't quite shake that. And after that, I sort of stopped going to birthday parties. And because I stopped going, I stopped getting invited. And it became this cycle that started repeating itself over and over again. 18% of the people in your community are experiencing social anxiety disorder. That's a lot of people. If you think about a class of 20 students,
we're actually quite friendly people. People who have social anxiety, myself included. Not as scary as people think we are. We're not.
Too. About 50%
or dangerous as people like to say for anyone who has mental health issues.
By age 11.
We're not. I'm here to reduce the stigma.
80% have developed it by age 20. Because social anxiety disorder shows up so early in life, it can have some huge impacts on your future. It's the only mental health disorder that's consistently linked to dropping out of school. If you're alone a lot, you're not that active, you feel terrible about yourself, well, now you're vulnerable for depression. And we know that people with social anxiety disorder are also really vulnerable to substance use problems because they might use substances.
I'm not gonna lie, I do have a huge sweet tooth, so I have a lot of cakes.
My social anxiety really
I've stopped now compared to before. Now I have like pistachios, nuts,
but the thing I
fruits, water.
myself is I didn't stand up for myself and I didn't stand up for other people. When I saw someone else being bullied, I didn't step in. I didn't say stop. And when my friends would bully someone else, I'd go along with it because it was too hard for me to say anything. The image you probably have in your head right now is someone who is
That's nothing.
shy,
What if you have siblings who fucking bullied you and put you in shitty places?
And that is completely
Once upon a time
wrong.
in Christmas, they locked me out and I got so angry I literally
But for
elbowed
a
them.
lot of people.
We had a door that was made out of
Shyness does not
glass
equal
and ended up in hospital straight after.
It's very common to be shy.
And my siblings were like, what the hell happened? I was like, yeah, you're gonna let me in the house. I broke the glass door.
You're not really
Don't give a
comfortable
shit.
with it. It takes you some time to warm
Yeah,
up.
I was like,
But most
I
shy
was
kids
very
do
psycho
tend to
kid.
warm up
I'm not gonna
over
lie.
time. And most shy children do not become social.
No harm. I'm obviously I'm much more calmer now compared to what I was before.
Think of introversion and extroversion as this continuum.
The joys of turning 18, I guess.
Social anxiety might drain your battery or how much it might energize it. People who are introverted just get more tired from social situations and enjoy having more time to themselves. That doesn't make them socially anxious. Neurodiversity also doesn't equal social anxiety. Just because you have an ADHD brain, you're on the autism spectrum, or you have Tourette's, it doesn't mean you're going to develop social anxiety. Each of these conditions create certain strengths as well as certain challenges, and yes, some of those challenges have to relate to interacting with other people in social contexts, but it's complicated, and this graphic does a good job of showing how
that's a lot of
some of these
writing.
conditions are related to social anxiety. It might make you a little bit more vulnerable for it, but none of them mean you're going to develop social anxiety. Yes, some people with social anxiety are really awkward. I thought I was super awkward in middle school, but the reality is most people with social anxiety, they're just kind of quiet. And that's the feedback I've gotten from other people, is they said you weren't strange or weird, you just didn't really talk much. You were just kind of there. What I want you to know about people who have social anxiety disorder
As people
is
like
that
to
they
say we're the
want
background
connection.
people.
They
People who
want to fit in.
are the quietest,
They want
but
to
we're
talk
literally
to you.
we're there,
They
but we're
want to be a
background.
part of the group.
Imagine like
But their
Kokoro,
brain keeps
basketball,
telling them
anime.
that they
That's
don't
pretty much me. I'm the
belong.
blue
So
head
now
boy.
you're probably wondering, well, what exactly is going on inside the brain of someone who has social anxiety disorder? It starts with your genetics. A lot of people who develop anxiety disorders are more vulnerable to experience anxiety. Specifically, they have this thing called the behavioral inhibition to the unknown. What that means is when you're in a new situation, you back off. And it's something that you can spot.
Isn't it from The
really early in
Office?
kids
If I
in the
remember,
first few
American
years of their
Office, not
lives.
British.
And it's something I did all the time by always hiding behind my mom or hiding behind my dad when I was in a new or uncomfortable situation. And for some reason, you might go through life and experience a situation where other people were associated with danger. And now your mind starts to make more and more associations with people representing danger.
Yeah, I've got relatives who be like, what can I buy? I'm just going to go to that. I'm like, go where the hell you want. Just tell me what you need after.
Well, why was I the only one who did that? And then I was thinking about all the other things that made me different, like how I was the only brown kid in my class, and how I thought my nose
I know
was
that
really
feeling.
big, and how I thought my voice didn't sound good.
Aww.
And then your mind just starts associating
cute.
all these
Aw.
things, and then pretty soon
My one
you're
was
thinking
like,
how weird,
I was a
strange,
weird
and
kid, I'm not gonna lie.
when you have social anxiety disorder, you don't see the big picture. Your attention becomes really narrow and distorted. If you have social anxiety disorder, the amygdala, the part of your brain that processes fear, is more active when you're looking at faces, which means your mind literally sees faces as more dangerous. Fear gets activated in your body, making your heart race, making it hard to breathe, making you sweat, making
I'm just
you shake.
nervous, like I
Now
said.
you're wired
I'm always
to
gonna be
see threats
nervous,
in
just
your
like my
environment.
debut.
So someone
But
with a neutral face, which is most people, you start to experience that as a threat, and you start to believe that they are thinking
sorry,
harshly.
your face
Because of all
looks
these
funny, dude.
sensations in your body,
sorry,
all
dude.
these thoughts floating around in your head, and how your
Very
attention
good
is
looking, though,
only
not gonna lie.
focused on these dangers, it is so hard to speak. It is so hard to interact with anyone, to hold a conversation, and to just be there. All those things keep you, rob you of getting the real world data of what people are actually thinking about you. I remember being trapped in that cycle throughout PE in middle school. And the moment I'd walk into the locker room, I would look straight down, try not to have any eye contact with anyone around me because I thought they were all looking at me and smirking and laughing inside because I looked so strange and awkward. I would grab my clothes from my lockers and run to a bathroom stall and change into the stall. I was like the only one in my class who did that. And that just made me stick out even more. Like all the ways I was trying to cope with that anxiety by not looking, by changing in the stall, by avoiding. It made it all worse. It made me stick out even more. And just thinking about it right now makes me feel very uncomfortable. Here's the good news. We have treatments that are pretty effective at treating social anxiety disorder. Medications like SSRIs and psychotherapies like cognitive behavioral therapy have both been shown to help a lot of people who are struggling with this problem. Research has shown medications might work a little bit faster, but therapies might have a longer lasting impact. Doesn't really matter too much. I would say move forward with whatever you feel most comfortable with. If you pursue psychotherapy, the thing to look out for is making sure it has all the components that have been shown to be effective at treating social anxiety disorder. The terms you should look for is exposure.
I used to look down a lot actually before I started looking up and having more confidence. But people said so I did martial arts for a long time. And one of my teachers did say to me, the more you look down, the easier to target you are. And that sticks with me forever, so I never look down now anymore. I never look down anymore. I swear to God.
Like maintain eye contact.
Even thankfully dealing with my moderators as well, when I walk with them, none of them look down as well. So we're pretty scary. Me and my mods, to be honest, when we ever go out, but it's more my friends I go out with. My mods are just my mods. They sometimes will help me out and like some stuff,
critical feedback from
which
other
is
people
nice.
About what you did well and getting comfortable with positive evaluation, because social anxiety, it's not just about negative evaluation, but a lot of people are anxious about trying to meet those high standards that people might have of themselves. Getting comfortable with that and getting comfortable with negative evaluation as well. What are the things that you need to improve on? And getting comfortable with rejection, because sometimes people aren't going to like you. And that's okay.
I'll be happy when people don't like me. I don't actually mind. It makes me just want to cut them off even more.
I didn't realize it was about giving public speeches. I thought it was about studying public speeches, and then I was too socially anxious to drop out of that class, so I stuck with it. But what I learned through that semester is even the popular kids in school who were in this class, they experienced those same worries that I did. And I got a lot of practice speaking in front of other people and getting that critical feedback and learning how to focus my attention. That changed my life, and I wanted to do the soft skills of going out into the local community and practicing doing embarrassing things, asking rude questions, coming across as not having a clue what you're talking about. When people were able to practice these things,
university ain't worth shit. You'll just become even more depth. Become a VTuber, you become less depth than university, for sure.
My high school teacher, Miss Hayes, was able to give me. If you're watching this video to better understand someone else and you're thinking, what can I do to help them? There's 3 things I want you to remember. The first thing you can do is make it easy for someone to talk about their social anxiety. Ask someone if they're experiencing social anxiety right now. Ask them what's popping up in their head. People with social anxiety disorder don't get a lot of opportunities to talk about these experiences.
That is true.
And if you make it easy for them to talk about it, that takes a lot of the power away from the social anxiety.
Was that Miss Marvel or something? Oh man, I love Miss Marvel.
What would help them to feel more courageous about the situation they're struggling with right now? Maybe you can go with them to the party that they're avoiding. Maybe you can help them write a text for that message they've been avoiding. Maybe you can rehearse and practice with them how to ask for help for this conversation they've been avoiding. The last thing I want you to do is don't invalidate them. Don't tell them to just relax. Don't tell them this is all in your head.
I swear to God, I couldn't agree more with this guy so
if it was
much.
that easy to solve these problems, this wouldn't be one of the most common psychiatric problems in the world. If you want to learn more about social anxiety, check out this playlist.
Alright, y'all.
And if you want
I'm Orion Ookami. This is a good time for me in straight. I'm really tired. I'm Orion Ookami saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. No matter where in the world you are. Thank you very much for my stream. This is really loud. Oh my gosh. I need to turn it down a bit. Tomorrow I have anonymous simulator hacker. Some hacking stuff, which will be fun. Hopefully. I might change that time. I'm still deciding about it. We'll see. Anyway, y'all, I still hope the collab and gyro. If it works out. If it doesn't, that's fine, but we'll see. I'm Orion Ookami saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. No matter where in the world you are. Thank you very much for my stream. I will see you all hopefully tomorrow. I think I'm definitely done just for today. I'll do streams again tomorrow. Watashita, kind of. Bye!